Alright, let's do this thing for real. Hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? Hopefully y'all having a good one. As we approach the end of the week. Hopefully we get some good hunting and some good monsting out of the way. Some monster. My favorite kind of cheese. Put it on a sandwich. Eat it. These are the 3 steps of having a delicious sandwich. But we're back at it again. Made for the last time. Made for the second to last time. Anything's possible. I probably won't put any attempts in tonight against the beast, the last beastie, but I at least want to be ready for putting out attempts on Saturday, because I'm sure it'll take a lot of attempts. But that said, what's up, Jabberwock? What's up, Party Like a Wizard? Hopefully y'all having a good one as we reach into the depths of the end of the week here. And for our United States friends, a long weekend. At least I believe that's this week. I don't know. I think, yeah, this week. It's got to be this week with Labor Day. I never know when holidays are anymore. Oh, shit. It's Soul Crates. You might say, uh-oh. But I say, oh, yeah, it's Soul Crates, baby. It's Soul Crates time. With 32 entire days of subscription, leaping into the second month, no matter what month it is. Soul Crates is in the second month. That's 2 months. It's going good, though. How you doing? What's going on? Life, what's going on, family? How hard can a Monceratops with wings be? Can't be hard at all, honestly. Can't be that hard, right? Gotta be pretty easy. I might be overselling it. Might be thinking a little bit too hard. Might just have to whack it like 3 times and it goes down immediately. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. I only whacked it twice when I was just seeing what the monster did. One of them was on his forehead, which I apparently cannot hit. So, you know, that'll be fun. So we did find the actual endpoint as defined by the Curse Giver. The Monoblos. I already forgot its name. the Monoceratops. The Mono not stereo. The Mono, please get it to a hospital. I cannot remember its name. I think it's like the Monoblanos or something like that. The Monoblos? I'm calling it the Monos Blanos. Les Monos Blanos. Because it's easier to say out loud and remember, potentially. What's up, Wrath4? What's up, Power Flapjack? Hopefully you all having a good one as well. Been an off-kilter day at work, but nothing atrocious. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. It feels like everyone's had like an off-kilter day at work. My partner had. I guess I didn't, but I was actually asked to work on something today, so that was almost refreshing. Yeah, the Mont Blanc. The Count of Mont Blanc. Mono, the Blanos of Fate. I'm just gonna keep making up names until someone kicks me in the shin. So we got a while. I got some time. What's going on with everyone? You got anything cool planned this weekend? Anything around the corner that's like, yeah, this is around the corner and I want to talk about it? All right, I'm mostly just waiting for this song to end as well. I mean, KOF13's whole OST is super good. But it's been a while since I've gotten to listen to it. So I'm like, I just want to close this out appropriately. so we can move on to the video portion of the stream, which isn't loaded anymore because I forgot to click it and everything went wrong. There we go. All right, we're back. I have to readjust everything as well. Give me a second here. But I think I'm off today because I'm just tired. This week has been a lot trying to get the car repaired. But the car is repaired, thankfully. I mean, the AC, whatchamacallit, died. And we had to get a new one ordered in, but thankfully the car is still under warranty, so thankfully it was covered, but unthankfully they feel like they were ill prepared to ask someone to leave their car with them for half a day. And it's oh, okay, so can we get a rental car or a shuttle anywhere, some Lyft credits or anything like that? They're no, we don't got any of that. And it's how the fuck is anyone supposed to leave a car with you then? And also supposed to go to work, well, somewhere time between Monday and Friday. You're the dealership. If you were just some shop, I would understand that. You would not have those concessions. But you're the actual dealership. I was required to come to you to fix this problem. And you're telling me that you're not ready for this shit. All right. Whatever. Fine. But they repaired it. It's done. The AC works again. And when you're in a significantly hotter area, that is very much appreciated. Entirely appreciated. Yo, what's up, Jen? How you doing? I'm glad that we can do the things together that make you feel good. But you ain't afraid of no Rafflos. You ain't afraid of no bed. I guess there's a bed in this game. I'm not afraid of it either. I am afraid of Rafflos, though. That's a problem. Monster Hunter has an end. Chiral, you think I would go on twitch.tv.com and lie to you specifically? No, of course not. Monster Hunter has an end and it's close. But I'm just not ready for it yet. I don't have any of the good items that I need to fight a monster anymore. So I'm just going to grind that out for a bit today. You might even see in the stream title where it's just we're watching one video and then to be determined. And the to be determined part is, do I feel like making attempts on the monster tonight? Yes, no. Where am I at? Do I have enough items? Because I don't know where to find some of the items either. I've come to realize I don't know where some of the items are because I need some power seeds and stuff like that. And I have no idea where those are. So I got to figure out how to get those. Those might be just a lucky drop thing. Get more potions, get more mega potions. I think I'm good for traps, thankfully. I think I still have enough nets, or I can make enough nets with the ivy and spider webs I have on hand. So I should be good for that. I need some sound bombs as well, so I don't know what to do with that one, honestly. I don't know how to get that one. So, yeah. I'm not going to lie. I should have been keeping better notes. And I was keeping notes for a while. Actually, speaking of, maybe I have something in the notes right now. Maybe there is something in there, and I just haven't looked at it in a while, and maybe I knew where to get the seeds I'm looking for from. But Cairo, how you doing? Good to see you again. Today, it might have rolled over into a new day for you, I realize. So when I say today, I'm being very selfish and just talking about me and me only. That's right. This stream's about me. I'm only going to talk about me. Welcome to the me stream, everybody. Let's talk about my favorite subject. Video game soundtracks. All right. What's your favorite video game soundtrack? Okay, Monster Hunter notes. I'm just buying time to find my Monster Hunter notes and see if I have anything about... let's see. Got that. Do I have anything about the seeds? The answer seems to be no. I mapped out the swamp, and that was the last thing I did. And at that point, I didn't even know how to make the demon drugs and stuff like that. I didn't know how to make drugs by then. I couldn't be like Joe Pesci in Moonwalker and just, flood the streets with drugs, unfortunately. So I got to actually find where to get the drugs. So I think that's going to be the first thing I'd say. I just got to figure out where to get the drugs or get the ingredients for the drugs. So we'll be good there. Baldur's Gate 3, whole of doing my fucked up and evil playthrough, and boy, it goes places. That game seems really cool. Outside looking in, that game seems really neat. I haven't watched many people play it. I've only seen one of my friends play it on a Discord stream, and it's this seems really entertaining and good. And I might be into it if I had time to play it. I'm so chuffed for games. I'm like, people are saying, hey, you should stream this game. I'm like, I am planned out for the rest of the year. I don't have time. Monster Hunter took so fucking long. I don't have time anymore. It's over. It's Jover. All right. Let's get this video going about Katamari Damacy. Wow. Katamari Damacy and its perfect sequel, because I just want to hear about Katamari Damacy because I haven't thought about that game enough as of late. I keep thinking about it, just not enough, honestly. Strategy guy. My strategy guy is going to be like, I don't know, probably don't use the great sword. It seems pretty bad. The more I use it, the more I'm like, Jesus, fuck, this thing's not good. But I'm committing to the bid. I'm going to watch the stream and check out the Aki trailer. Oh, right, the Aki trailer. Everyone's talking about Aki again today. She's coming soon. There's too many games and not enough time. Yeah, all you have to do is finish all of the Valkyria Chronicles series, or Valkyria Chronicles, that's what it's called, right? I just keep calling it Valkyria, and I'm like, that's not even how you say Valkyria. But all you have to do is finish those, you're good to go. AC6, yeah, I keep hearing about like the first mission / boss of AC6, and I'm just like, damn, I kind of just want to play it, and then be like, cool, whew, that was a game, huh? And then just quit immediately. All right. Let me turn this up a bit as well. There he goes.
The PlayStation 2 was an overwhelming success worldwide and boasted quite the lifespan
All
for
right.
a video
How's
game
the
console.
sound?
I mean, games were still being released up until 2013. However, out of all the games in its library, there is none that resonates with me more than Katamari Damacy.
We're playing
to be
1
specific,
and 2
its direct
first.
sequel.
I saw someone
Katamari.
playing 1,
Wait,
and I'm like,
Katamari
1
Damacy
looks
had a
like
sequel?
that?
Well, yeah. In fact,
Like,
it has
geez,
5
it
sequels,
looks like
not
that?
counting
That's
spin-offs
crazy.
in a Korean MMO
What's up,
that
Moore?
we'll
How you
never
doing?
get our hands on. But yes, whenever people talk about the series, I'm baffled that the discussion ends at the first game, because
I don't
in
know.
my
I don't
personal
know who you
ranking,
know.
I would place
I think your name was
Katamari
Tucker.
Damacy at the
I don't-
bottom of the list.
I don't know who
No,
you're
that
talking
doesn't
to.
mean it's a bad
because
game.
I don't think
That's not
anyone
what I'm
ever
trying to
talks
say at
about
all.
the original
But
game.
I think all of its sequels offer something
I've never
better.
heard anyone talk
But
about
today,
the
I'd
original
just like
game.
to focus on the first 2 games, the peak and the bottom. So let's analyze what makes the original so special,
Out of
while
nowhere.
also
Yeah, I'm
dissecting
like
what I
realizing
believe
how
to be
old that
its
series
superior,
is.
Yet underlooked
I knew
sequel.
Baldur's Gate
So
2,
strap on your
no,
ducky,
Dark Alliance
because we're
existed.
rolling
That's
right
the only one I
into
really knew
Katamari
about. And I thought that
Damacy.
was number 2, and apparently that's not number 2. And then Sea of Stars, everyone was talking about, and I was interested in Sea of Stars after I saw a friend play the demo. I'm like, this looks great. And then I learned that it's like by the people who did the messengers. I'm like, oh, that seems
Now,
even greater.
No mistaking Katamari Damacy. It's just one of those games that's so unapologetically itself. Released on March 18th,
Actually,
2004 in
let me
Japan
see
and September
where my items
21st,
are currently.
2004 in North America, Katamari Damacy, despite its
You own the first 2,
everything,
but they're
is
awkward to play
deceptively
today. I said
simple to
awkward.
understand. Often described as a snowball simulator, the game has you
1998?
take control of
That's
the Prince
so
of all
long
Cosmos,
ago. Wow,
who
Baldur's Gate
stands at a
1 you
mere
can, like,
5 centimeters tall.
drink
Despite its small
and
stature,
not
he's
dr- and not be
effortlessly
interested in
pushing
it
around this
anymore
mystical
because it's
orb,
past that age.
The titular Katamari, which always reminded me of those bumble balls made for babies.
Oh shit, I forgot about
Now,
bumble balls.
the Katamari has the ability to pick up anything it contacts, so long as it's smaller than itself.
All right.
As you roll into objects,
I
you'll
like-
gradually
okay, I got a lot of
increase in
micronutrients, so
size,
that's good.
and anything larger than
got
you,
cool drinks,
simply
that's also
bounce off
good.
of. And since it's a
lot of
sphere,
catalyst,
the
that's good.
Katamari
Just need
exhibits momentum,
drugs.
so
Just need
if you
drugs,
crash
which I
into
need
anything,
seeds.
objects you've collected will break right off. Objects can
I'm
also
good on
influence
honey
how
and
the Katamari
herbs.
rolls. So if you start
I could do
collecting
a little
lot
bit more
of
blue
longer
mushrooms, though.
objects, you'll have a pole vault effect. Now, the reason why you're going around and rolling up everything is to replace the stars in the sky, which were
have
destroyed by your
plenty of
father, the
steak,
king of all
thankfully.
cosmos, during a bender
could
incident.
do more.
Yes, really, though he doesn't seem to feel all too bad about it. In fact, he seemed to quite enjoy it. The king, being the responsible type, places the enormous burden on your little green shoulders to roll around Earth, sending Katamaris into the sky.
Look, all you gotta
Under
do is
normal
fix your drunk
circumstances,
dad's
this would
issues.
be a
That's all you gotta
monumental
do.
request.
While he
If
adds
it
more
wasn't for
issues to the
fact that
issues.
it's one of the most enjoyable
issues be
experiences
issues is what I'm
gaming
trying to
can bring
say.
you. Katamari Damacy is like those videos on r/oddly satisfying. Except, you know, you can play it.
Hello,
The
since
game
I've
features
rolled in on a
five
good
unique
time. That's
controls.
right, Alza
Instead of
Rep.
using the left stick to move
Hopefully
and
you'll
the right
stick
stick for the
around.
camera, both
We're
sticks
talking
are
about
instead
Baldur's
used to
Gate.
push
I'm
the
watching a video
Katamari.
about
It's easier
Katamari,
to
and I'm
think of each
playing
stick as your
Monster
left
Hunter
and
because
right
I'm the
hand, so
ultimate
pressing forward
gamer.
on both
I could do
sticks
3
pushes
games
the
at
ball
once.
straight ahead. Then you simply adjust the angle for
What's up,
whatever
Alex? How you
direction you
doing?
want to go. Pushing in the sticks causes you to perform a 180.
Well, we started in the background because, man, Katamari has some bangers. Katamari basically has all bangers.
Directions causes you to charge
It's
and
really
roll,
hard
which is just a
for me to
dash
think of
move.
like
However,
songs
there
I
is a
don't
limit
like
to
in
this before you
Katamari.
get tired,
Between
so it's not something you can spam.
Katamari
There's
1 and 2,
two other
basically.
actions you can perform.
I don't
Pressing
know.
L1
I played
lets you
other
get a
Katamarys, the
first-person
Xbox
view of
one,
the
but
scenery.
the
This
soundtrack
is
did not stick
purely
nearly
for
as hard, so I
examining your
can't
surroundings,
say
though. Later
if
on,
it's good
you
or
can
bad
receive
with
a
all my
camera,
heart.
which lets you take photos that you can save to the memory card. If you press R1, you can jump, which simply gives you a bird's eye view of everything around you.
Oh,
Again, purely for examining your surroundings.
But yeah, the OST
With
is
controls
so
out of the
good.
way, let's review
Oh, it's
how
the era of
stages
you
are
can make a
structured.
character wrong.
Now, stages can be split
I would
into two
immediately
categories.
make a character
Make
wrong,
a star
and not
stages
intentionally.
and constellation stages. Make a star stages are as vanilla as they come. The king will request a Katamari of a certain size to be made in a specific amount of time. Even if you reach the requested size before time is up, the stage does not simply end, as you're encouraged to make the largest star possible. That being said, you may quit the moment you reach the goal if you'd like. If you reach the goal with ample time to spare, you'll earn a shooting star which tracks your fastest time. So repeat playthroughs are encouraged. The amount of depth doesn't end there, however, as
here. I
each
just need to collect
stage
seeds
can
and
feature
hopefully I
a
get
royal
something.
present. Presents
You're
contain
off work until
accessories you can use to
Tuesday.
customize the print.
Jeez,
These
you
range
have
from being
so
fairly
much
well
free
hidden to
time. What the
simply
fuck?
being out in the open. But
I'm
either
like
way,
looking
they
forward to like
encourage you
having
thoroughly
having
explore
just
the map.
Monday off.
Some even require you to
Hey, you're
interact with
already
the environment,
started.
like crashing into a tree enough to knock down a present,
It's-
or climbing to the very top of a smokestack. Then there's the constellation stages, or what I dub gimmick stages. In these stages, size is not the end goal, with one exception, but rather collecting specific objects littered throughout the map. For example,
Yeah,
the
some collection stages are
Pisces
good.
Requires
Some
you to
collection
roll
stages
as
are
many
complete
fish as
ass, and I
possible.
hate them
There
a
are
lot.
9 constellation stages and 10 make a star stages, so let's briefly cover each, and I'll throw in some anecdotes along the way.
Make a star 1.
This
You can
stage
BS
takes
out
place in
nowhere.
the house, and your goal
That-
is to simply reach
That's
10
also well.
centimeters.
Then I would still
Since this
probably
is the first
immediately
stage, there's
die.
also
I'm sure I
no
would enjoy
timer.
it just because
Once
I'm
you
fucked
reach
up
10
like that.
centimeters, the
I
stage
like it when
ends,
a
and the king
game
will
just
abduct
completely
you
screws me
with
over
his
sometimes.
Signature royal rainbow.
I forgot the noise
If you
of that.
later decide to replay this stage, the king will add a time limit of 3
because he's a
minutes,
combination of a
bringing
bastard,
it in
Sheriff,
line with
the
the rest
Goblin
of the stages.
King, David Bowie,
Overall,
and
it's a fairly small
Frankenfurter,
room
Tim
with a
Curry.
kotatsu at its center, which you can go underneath,
Oh, it was
which
so
I think is pretty
simple,
cute.
Jin. You're
Make
right.
a star 2.
You're
Like the
so
previous
right.
stage,
You're so
this one
right.
also takes place in the house.
It was just
Your
that
goal is to
simple.
reach 20 centimeters in 6 minutes. And unlike the previous stage, you can go
This big
outside
straight
once you reach
Unga
10
Bunga,
centimeters.
let the recruitable
My
companions
favorite
do
part
the more
about this level is
complicated
the
builds.
eggplant garden. If
Look,
you collect a
y'all
bunch,
do
the
all the
king
hard
says
work. I'm
eggplants
going to take
everywhere.
a nap.
This is also
Good
the
night.
first stage with a present, which the king will make you
Oh, you
aware
can BS
of
the game
during
back.
his
Okay,
spiel
that also
prior to
rules.
starting the
If
stage.
it's a game not just trying to
Make
kill
a
you, you can do
star
something in return. Hell
This
yeah.
stage takes place in the town. Your goal is to reach 50 centimeters in 8 minutes. This is a fairly large space to roll around in.
Yeah,
and
I'm
it
like, this is
can
like
be
the first
difficult
stage I'm
to
like,
gain
I
size
really
early
started to
on
love
due to a lot
Katamari.
of these surrounding objects being larger than you.
Maybe for some
My advice
expansion
is to
content.
stay in
What's
the
wrong with
starting
expansion content,
area,
out of
at
curiosity?
least until you're big enough to roll up these cans of mackerel. On my
BG2
first
rolls
playthrough,
up.
I got stuck in the
When was
drain and a bunch
BG2
of
released,
stuff
out of
flew off my
curiosity?
Katamari as it just vibrated in place.
That sucks.
This is some kind of failsafe the game does if
But yeah,
you
I was
get
gonna say,
stuck
that actually is, like,
Because
very
in
smart.
theory,
I was
if
gonna
you
say for
get
the same
smaller,
reason.
you'll be able to get out of whatever predicament.
Yeah, you'll
you're
never
in,
truly
but it's
be
pretty
stuck.
punishing.
But
I also
it
had a
will
hard
suck.
time getting up the stairs. Normally, you're supposed to be able to just continuously roll into a wall to climb up, but more often than not, you'll just bounce off instead. Once you're big enough, this becomes less of a problem, but it's
2000?
still annoying.
Okay. Oh wow, it came like
Make a
pretty
star
fast
4.
after
We're
number
back
one.
in the
then.
house again.
I guess, you know,
this time your goal
trying
is
to
to
strike
reach 1
while the
meter
iron
in
is hot.
10 minutes.
And then,
Unlike our
then
last
there was
visit,
Baldur's
more of
Gate. The
house
one I
is
know is
accessible,
Baldur's Gate.
including the street leading around the house once you reach
Dark
50
Alliance.
centimeters.
I think that's what it was called.
Overall, I quite enjoy this stage.
Was that
There's
fairly
spots where
recently
objects are
after it
heavily
too, or
concentrated,
nah?
which makes it easy to quickly gain size. That being said,
Take a
I
break for
also
beating it.
made
No,
a
that's fair,
very
that's
large
fair.
Katamari, so
I'm
I found
built
myself fighting
in a
the
way that
camera
I
anytime
can't
I entered the house.
really
Also, my
fucking,
Katamari was surrounded
I can't
by
blast
angels
through
at the
games as
end,
much anymore,
which
but
only happens when
I've
you
been
reach the
finding myself
maximum
blasting through
size
games a lot
category
more
for a
often
map.
as of late.
I
Because
suppose
say,
this
some
is a
recent
good
releases have been
opportunity to
very
explain
good.
what that means.
Like, I'm not
Basically,
quote unquote
as
done
you
with
get
30XX,
larger, the
but
screen will put up
you know,
this
I put a
blur
lot of
effect,
time into
while also
30XX
pulling
and
back
finish
the
it kind of
camera
quickly to get like
indicate
a couple
you've
runs,
reached
a
the
few
next
runs
size
in.
category.
Like,
Usually
it'd be enough
these
for me to
are
like to nod and say,
intercepted
yeah,
with
I'm
loading
done with
screens,
that,
but
but
not always.
I'm not.
What the game is trying to do is hide the
Bomb
fact
Rush
that it needs to
Cyberpunk, I'm
both
trying
unload
to
smaller
play
objects and
that, like,
also
complete
load
everything
new
in
objects
there.
into the map.
because I
It's
just
a
really like
pretty
that game a
clever
lot.
effect, and it adds to the whole dopamine
I kind of
rush
blasted
you
like
get while
Tetris
rolling.
effect, like
So by reaching the
hours, stuff like
maximum
that. I
size
don't know.
category, that means I've reached a point
But
where
I guess
there
I'm not
isn't
playing
anything more
huge
to
games
load in.
either.
So for the house, this is as big as it gets.
I'm starting to play Final
Make a
Fantasy
star
15,
five.
16, whatever the
We're back
number
in
is. I
town,
don't fucking
baby.
know.
This time our goal is to reach 1.5 meters in 12 minutes.
Same
New
initial
to
roll,
this
it's just
stage
here's
is the
more
lower
of
half
game.
the
Okay,
map,
okay, so
which
kind
is
of like
unlocked at
Doom
45
2 in that
centimeters.
regard, where it's like, hey,
There's
it's
this
just
ramp
here's
you
more
get to roll
game.
down, which
We
is
have the
pretty
time
fun
now.
as you gain a lot
Yeah.
of speed. It's also around this
sorry, I
point
saw
where
the
you can
cool
start
ramp, like,
rolling
yeah, I
people.
love that one.
The mechanics for this are kind of tricky. If a moving object is eligible to be rolled up, they'll display this shocked emote above their head. You then need to roll into them to stun them. Once stunned, you'll be able to roll them up. If you wait too long, then they'll run away. And if you're overwhelmingly larger, you'll just bypass this and they'll be collected like a normal object. Now you may be questioning the ethics of this.
Make a star 6.
This stage takes place in
You
the
may be
world map.
questioning
The
the
goal is
ethics
to
of
reach
this.
3 meters in 10 minutes.
Anyway,
this is one
moving
of the few
on.
stages that
Way
features
past
water
that
you can roll
question.
around in. The prince will even don some snorkel gear. There's also some police officers that will shoot your
Kinsage. The
Katamari.
Kinsage?
So
Like-
clearly people are starting to feel threatened
You
by
say
your presence,
Kinsage, but I just
which
think
is
of like
interesting because there's
Ken
a
from
point
Street
where the
Fighter
king
with, like,
states
a
that
wizard hat
everyone
on,
Earth will
and he's
be
looking
happy
something
to help the
vicious.
prince out. But I'm starting to think that's a little presumptuous. There was also a point where my Katamari
First
got stuck
playthrough is
again,
over
but it
100
did act
hours?
as
That's a
good
lot of
example how the
hours.
game will restore
So, Chris,
any
that's too
objects
many
that come
hours.
through
Can
the
you
map.
just give me,
So
like,
they aren't theoretically
5 of
gone
them?
unless you enter
I'll
the
finish it in,
size
like, 2
category.
weeks.
And in that case, if they're smaller, then they'll likely despawn.
one big hit followed by 2 less
Make
good
a star
games on the
7.
same engine,
We're
followed by
sticking
a
around
big
the
one,
world
new
map
engine. That
once
makes sense.
more.
This is a legal
This time our goal is to reach
Yeah.
6 meters
It's
in
illegal?
10 minutes. Once
You
3 meters
know,
is reached, we can
we'll-
access the city
we'll
portion
not
of the map
address
and
this.
start rolling up cars. Or,
They
you
become,
know,
yeah, they
have
get
a
to
car accident and get
explode
flung halfway
into
across
a,
the map. My favorite part of
space
this level is
gas.
the beginning because
They'll-
there's just
they
a
won't even
line of
know. They won't even
bananas,
be able to
and
question
the king
about it.
feels the need to phonetically read
Not
out
wrong. It's
banana.
required. It's
One neat detail is that as you're creating stars throughout the
Kinsai
game,
Mage,
you
which
can
Kinsai
actually
is
see
a weapons
them back
master
on
on
the
a
hub world,
samurai
too. That's a nice
archetype.
touch.
Jeez,
Make
okay.
a star 8.
Heading back into the town again. This time our goal
Well,
is
I
to
missed
reach
two
12 meters in
cheese.
18
They've
minutes.
really
You
packed
start
this
off
game
really
up.
small
I'm kind
for
of
this level,
impressed.
so you'll need to work
For coming
hard to
out
reach
basically
the goal.
nowhere.
Once you reach 1.5
I was to say allegedly
meters,
nowhere.
you'll be
Outside
able
looking
to
in,
explore the
it
rest
definitely
of the
came out
town.
of nowhere,
Then
but
at 5
it's
meters,
like even
you
other
can
people are
begin
like,
rolling around this
"Whoa,
construction site area
I didn't expect that
located
either."
on the upper portion of the map. You can get pretty big in this stage if you play really
Oh, they can't
well,
equip
you
harder,
can
but they
even
hit
start
harder. So
rolling
you're
up
basically
trees,
racing to the
homes,
bottom.
buildings, and even the clouds. This is also another
Gotcha.
stage.
You're
that
just trying to
can
beat them before they
conclude
beat
with
you.
angels circling your
That's
Katamari.
how I'd probably
So
play
that
in
means
the
this
long
is the
run.
maximum size for the town map.
Make a star 9.
It's time to see more of the world. Now we need to make a 30-meter Katamari in 18 minutes. Once 12 meters has been reached, we can start rolling around on other
I
islands.
love that aspect,
This
Owls.
stage
That's so
can be a
good.
pain. Mostly because all of the islands are elevated, so you'll just end up falling off them more than anything. Not to mention climbing up them just tends to not work. It's too easy to get knocked off, so you'll find yourself circling back just to get where you once were. Also, if
Okay,
you're
so you got
looking for the
Cleric,
present on the
Mage,
stage,
multi-class. Very slow
remember
start.
that
About the first
certain
levels, the skill list
objects
intersect in
unload
some
once you
interesting,
reach the
fascinating
next
ways.
size category,
That's
which
I think that's
happens
my
to be
dream
here.
build, honestly.
On
I always
more
want to play a
positive
mage
note,
in
this
like
is
these
the
games,
first
these
time
style
we
of games.
encounter the Jumbo Men.
Yes, the
who are
Jumbo
these
Men.
reoccurring mascot characters in the series meant to parody Ultraman. You can see
And I
them
think I
all
did
over
that.
the
I
game
tried
as
to do that
toys
with
or even on the TV.
Dragon Age.
It's
if I
also
remember
really
correctly.
satisfying
And
to
then
get
they're
this
like always
large.
talking about
I
like
mean, we're
the
almost
blood
on par with
mage, it's
Skyscraper.
forbidden magic. I'm like,
I
oh, that sounds
wonder
cool.
how
Let me
much
go do the
further
blood
we're
mage
able to go.
thingy. And
Make
then the
a
blood
move.
mage
This is
fucking
it.
sucked.
This is the big one.
It was
and
absolute
what the game
buns.
considers to
I
be
mean,
the last
it's
level.
very real that
Our
I was just
goal,
bad at the
to
game,
create
yes,
a
but
300-meter Katamari
I'm like, this
in
thing sucks.
25 minutes.
But I'm going to beat the
No
game now that I'm
problemo.
stuck
Once
with
you
it.
reach 60 meters, the entire map
I
opens
still
up
enjoyed the
and
game. though.
wow.
It was fun.
So this is why it's called the world. Talk
Niche.
about a reward. Just absolute
They just really strong in
destructive bliss.
BG3 though.
I love it, man. It's so satisfying to roll around a Katamari
Yeah,
of this
this is
size.
always
I mean, you're just picking up these islands
satisfying.
effortlessly. It's really amazing to go on this journey just to conclude with this sense of scale. It's pure
But they
concentrated
pay
fun.
with mage classes.
Now,
it just says
as
mages
a
are
warning,
hampered by
I wanna
armor.
point out
Oh,
that
so
it
they
is
can't use it
possible to
anyway. So
drop
it's like, well,
present
just
if you crash into
fuck the
something,
middleman. We
which
don't need
happened
him.
to me here.
Get him out of
Had
here.
it not been defying gravity, I probably wouldn't have noticed. So just make sure to pay attention. Anyways, I managed to finish this level and collect every object that was left on the map with time to spare. And naturally, since we've gotten as big as
Nice
we
job.
can, we conclude with the angels surrounding our Katamari one last time. But that's not everything the game has to offer. Now it's time to talk
So
about
just
the
get a spell that
constellation
simply waits for a
stages.
condition,
First up,
and then fires off
make
whatever
answer.
other spell you put
as
inside
previously mentioned,
when that happens. With
constellation
multi-class, I can do something
stages
like when
have
my
no
enemy
size
hits
limit,
25
just a
H
time
health
limit,
instantly,
with one
or when
exception.
my health hits
So instead,
25%,
our
instantly
goal this
heal
time
myself.
is to
Oh,
collect as
okay,
many
okay,
crabs as possible
gotcha.
within 5 minutes. This
Players
stage
too, 'cause
takes
they can
place in
also
the house,
heal.
though we
Okay.
start in the crawl space.
Maybe
It's here we
original
really
games
get
let
an
you have
idea of
tactical
how
form of
silly this
barbarian,
game
too.
can be. We've
Just
got
throw stuff in
spiders
your-
to throw you off, but
Just
also
stuff your
crabs
throw.
pretending to be
Oh,
spiders.
explosive
Oh, snap, this crab
bears.
has got drip. Uh-oh, this crab's armed and dangerous. This series is just full of visual humor, so keep your eyes peeled. The only difficult part of the stage is planning your route,
Everything
because
here,
it's
yeah.
possible to miss some crabs
There's
if
a
you don't
bug.
collect them while you're small.
Make Cygnus.
Home sweet home once again. This time we're collecting
some
as
bugs
many
in here.
swans as possible in 6 minutes. But here's the catch. They haven't hatched yet, so they're all in eggs.
Maybe
Sounds
not.
easy, right? Well, not all the eggs contain swans. Sometimes they contain ducks. Sometimes they're just eggs. And it's completely random, so you're better off just collecting every egg you see. See why I call these gimmick
Don't use
stages?
dead bodies and
This
improvised
level
weapons.
is
What?
tricky to navigate
Oh
as
wait, no,
well.
someone talked about
You
this.
start off on the
Like you can
roof,
make the
and if
dead
you
bodies
decide to
explode.
return here
Or am
later,
I thinking about
things
Diablo?
can
I might be
get
thinking about
pretty
Diablo.
narrow
I
if
now
you
realize.
don't know better.
I-
What you're supposed
Sorry, I
to do
can't tell
is
the difference.
continuously roll up these ladders, but
Sorry
given
for
how
being an
unreliable
RPG
this move
scrub.
is elsewhere, the thought never really crossed my mind.
You can go
In
everywhere
all
and have a
fairness,
lot of
it does
dialogue
work
options.
consistently
Oh,
for ladders.
does
so
I
it
guess
must be
having
deliberate
more
that it sucks
charisma
elsewhere.
question mark give you
Anyways,
more dialogue
I like
options?
this added verticality. It creates a sense of exploration
On top
that's
of everything else
completely
that
unique to
game
the
is already
stage.
offering?
What I don't like though are these mouse traps littered all over that just fling you across the map. They're only here to waste your time.
Make Corona Borealis.
This time we're rolling around the town,
Corona
collecting as many
Borealis?
crowns as possible in 8
I'm
minutes.
not finishing that.
This one is pretty standard. If an object is wearing a
Estimate
crown, you
how
aren't able to
fucked
simply
Tempest
take it
clearance
off.
are.
You need to be big enough to roll
I
up
don't
the
know what that
object
is. I'm
wearing
just
it
gonna say
as
this fucked
well.
up.
Also, if you haven't caught on
Philopatry
at
is
this
the other
point,
fun one that will
each
affect
stage has its own
cleric spell
unique
as well as
design for the
running.
Katamari.
Okay. I'm just,
with
like,
the
learning about this as
constellation
well.
stages being some of the
Of course,
most
this one's
distinct.
absolutely deadly up to
Make
spell. Whoops.
Gemini.
Can't remember care
We've
about 3 and
returned to
4
the
though.
world map, and this
That's
time
also
we
fair.
have 10 minutes to roll some
That's also
twins.
fair. It's
Now, this doesn't simply extend to people, but animals, plants, and even things like household objects. The twins are denoted by their names in the lower left corner,
Pin
so unless
older,
it states
pin younger.
older or younger twin, then the object doesn't count. And obviously, for it to count towards your score, you need to roll up both. Triplets, quadruplets, and quintuplets don't count. The game just wants you to know that. In my
That's so
opinion,
good.
this
That's
is the
so
hardest
good.
stage to master. Mostly because
what?
you need
No,
to
I
be
asked for
very
twins,
thorough
not
to ensure you've
quadruplets. But
collected
isn't that just
both
more
twins.
twins? No,
I
fuck
advise
you.
not rolling up people
Shut the
until
hell
you're
up.
large enough to bypass the stun. Because if one of them runs
Yo,
away,
what's up,
then
kindness?
they're
How
gone
you
for
doing?
good. They don't respawn.
Happy Thursday to you as
Make
well. Hope you're
Taurus.
having a good one.
Actually, I take it back. This is the
Yeah,
hardest
this
stage.
fucking
Unlike
stage,
the
though.
previous 4
Ugh.
constellations,
This
one
one's
shakes things up quite
a
a
pain
bit.
in the
Your
ass.
goal is to roll
That's
up
a
8
nightmare
cow.
stage.
Just one. Ideally of the large variety. Sounds easy, right? Well, there's a lot of cows here, and the definition of cow is stretched pretty thin. A pylon? Well, it has a cow print, so it's a cow. A sign? Well, there's a
That's a
cow
cow.
on it, so it's a cow. Cowman! That's definitely a cow. Oh, milk carton. That's a cow. Once again, this level takes place on the world map, and you're generously
That's a
given
cow.
10 minutes to figure this mess out. To be fair, there's nothing stopping you from collecting a pylon and
I think that's
calling it a day.
pretty much
It's when
what I
you try
did.
to take this level seriously where the difficulty lies. Because to roll up the biggest cow, you'll have to grow your Katamari quite a bit, which requires you to avoid everything cow and cow adjacent. This can be out of your control too, because like I've previously mentioned, the Katamari has momentum and
Oh,
easily
no.
bounces off
Oh,
anything
no.
that decides to graze it ever so slightly.
Make Ursa
Like,
Major.
you don't get pushed
If you
into
enjoyed the
that's
last
great.
level, then you're gonna
But now
love
the
this
skill
one
checks
too.
are everywhere.
This
Rogue gets
time,
oops
instead
all
of a
skill
cow,
points.
we need
Oh,
a bear.
gotcha,
We've got all
gotcha.
the bears: teddy bears, polar bears, bear bears, whatever this
But yeah,
is.
depending on the
bear
background you
carvings,
choose to.
bear
Oh, okay.
statues, bear signs.
Ah.
Oh, can't forget.
I actually
bearmen
like
either.
that
They're
in
all
depth.
unmistakably bears. This level takes place on the town map, and like Taurus, you're given 10 minutes to find the cub of your dreams. I feel like this map is more adjusted for this style of gameplay, so I found it easier than Taurus. Honestly, these 2 levels would have been a lot more tolerable if you didn't have to go through multiple loading screens and a bunch of king dialogue just
Wait,
to
nobody's supposed to get
retry.
going. I'm
But
catching
I
up, by the way.
digress.
Make
upgrade
puppies.
you know, you can find them as
Once
fast as you
again,
physically
we're hanging
can.
out
past them.
downtown.
Jeez, okay.
This time we're rolling up as
Every
many
rogue, you
fish
almost
as
never need
possible
keys. That's
in
fair. So you
5
just kind of go
minutes.
wherever you want.
This
So
is
it's
yet
an open
another
world
standard
game,
objective,
as in
but
you can
I do
unlock
enjoy
everything,
it.
and it is
Fish
open
can
to
be
you.
hard to catch because they're pretty fast, and some of them aren't visible until they're jumping out of the water.
Once
but
you
I don't know. I
deal
just like
one
this
for
one.
long rest,
I
makes
think it's
maximum
because the stage
potential
is
damage with a lightning or
concentrated
thunder
in
spell,
an
which is great.
uncommon
Okay.
area of the town map,
Hey, high
so
level and the bear
it
level.
feels more
Bear level, like
memorable.
like you said, is
Make
a bit
Virgo.
better, but the cow
All right,
level,
this-
holy
this
shit.
is the yikes one. Once again, we're rolling in the town, and our goal is to roll up as many maidens as possible in 10 minutes.
Oh, I did forget about
Yeah.
that stage. I'm
The
not
best
gonna
part
lie.
is the
I
song
actually
that
forgot
plays
about that.
during this stage
It's
is
Lonely
called
Rolling
Lonely
Star.
Rolling Star. So they knew what they were doing.
Nightmares about
King
the
lays
bear
it on pretty thick
stage.
too, making some
That's an appropriate thing to have
questionable
nightmares
remarks.
over, quite honestly.
This level is just funny.
That's
At the
completely
start, the girl
valuable
knocked
to have
my
nightmares
Katamari
over.
down the stairs. That had to be intentional. One cool thing I noticed is that there's a witch girl riding a broom with a black cat, which totally has to be a Kiki's Delivery Service
Oh,
reference.
it's 100%.
Right? Like, look, it's Gigi.
Make the North Star.
Last but probably least,
Well, there's
it's
Pizza
time
Tower
to make
music.
the North Star.
Amber,
This
that's
is
good.
The exception
That's
I was
fine.
talking about.
That's
because
also
in this
good.
stage, there's no time limit. The catch is that
It's
you
not
also
okay? Is it
don't
not-
know
it's
the
not
size
okay?
of your Katamari either. The goal is
it
simple
okay?
though. Roll around the world to make a 10-meter
What's up, Amber? How you
Katamari.
doing?
When you think you're around 10 meters, you simply press square to exit the stage and see the results. It's not exactly riveting, nor is it offensive. It's just fine. Now, in terms of level order, the game is somewhat non-linear. Each time you clear a Make a Star stage, the next difficulty is unlocked. Except for Make a Star 7, which requires you to clear either Gemini, Ursa Major, or Pisces first.
It's not
Now,
the same.
Constellation stages are unlocked after each Make a Star stage, but they're
That's
also
fair.
not required to see the credits. So in that
Was it
regard, it's
pickpocket
up
get
to
strong
you on
gear
how you
early?
want to pace
Oh.
yourself. That all
Actually,
said,
someone told me
there's
something
still a
about.
few
I
more
think it was
things
one
to
of the
do after
previous
you
Baldur
make
games,
the
but it
move.
might have been some other
During
game.
the credits,
Whereas like
there's
you
a
could like
bonus
steal,
stage
manage to
where
steal
you
something
can roll around the
from
earth and pick up
some
all of
very
its countries.
powerful
If
like
you
guard
reach the
early in the
maximum
game,
size
and you just kind of
category
like
on
fucked up
Make a
strong
Star
for like
4,
99% of the
8,
game.
and Make the Moon, you'll
I
unlock
get
their
flashballs from here,
eternal
actually. Let me
variants,
steal
which
these.
completely removes the timer while also randomizing the music. Additionally, when replaying a stage after completing the game, the prince's cousins will now appear and can be rolled up, which grants some unique dialogue from the king, usually just finding them disturbing. This is a good segue into the collection, which catalogs every object you've rolled up.
Oops,
This
didn't want
had to be a localization nightmare, but they actually went out of their way to write little blurbs for each object.
Yeah, it's honestly
and they're
kind of
honestly
impressive.
fairly entertaining. But yeah, if you wanted to,
I didn't realize
you
there were, like,
could
those
totally
Mahjong
make your
tiles
goal
there.
to complete the
Like, I was
collection,
like, I don't
and that
know what
would keep
Mahjong
you busy
is.
for some time. The game
You do a
already
lot of
encourages
games. I did it in Fallout 1
replayability,
too.
and objects have
See, that's
fixed
how outside,
locations, so
and I'm
at
looking.
some
I'm
point,
like,
you
oh, that
could
sounds
collect
funny and
everything if you
hilarious.
were persistent enough. It feels
And then
silly
he's like,
to
yeah,
discuss the
that's just an
presentation
overworld
only
thing. If you
now,
could
but
just
I felt
steal
it's
shit from the
important to
best person in
understand
the
everything
area,
else
then
before you
fuck
can
it, it's
truly
yours. You earned
appreciate
it.
What's going on here? Obviously, this game has a very unique art style. Low poly 3D models with very simple, low resolution textures. If there's anything I learned from art class, it's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, and this embodies that perfectly. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, I am running this on an emulator, so I've increased the internal resolution to 1080p.
But I have a lot of
But because the
indescribably
textures
fucked up
are
good gear
intentionally
hiding in the
pixelated, I think
pixel
it just
loot boxes
upscales
just
beautifully.
around the world.
That being
Oh,
said,
shit.
the game still
So
looks pretty nice
it's
at
really
its
like
native
pushing
resolution.
to exploration,
Now,
I
given
guess, in
how
that
many
regard then
objects
too.
are on screen at once, this had to have been a happy
Plus
accident,
old school
considering the hardware
mentality of
limitations, but it
the
works
secret should be
wonderfully.
as
You could
small
even
as
say it's
humanly
timeless.
possible,
You can
if
still
at all
see this
visible in the
visual
first place.
style influencing indie games to this day. It's iconic, but nowhere near as iconic as the game's soundtrack. Now you have to understand, it's the mid-2000s.
All right, there you go, Amber.
Yes, anime and Japanese culture had entered the West,
fuck.
but it was nowhere near as
most I need to
mainstream
kill
as
is
it is
here.
now.
But I don't
And I
wanna
feel
kill
like
you yet.
Katamari Damacy, even to some small
Gonna
degree, played a
inconvenience
role in
you for a
making
bit.
that happen. There was a time where you couldn't release a game like this. That's why we have all these games that never left Japan, or if they did, they were reskinned for our dumb American taste. But Katamari dared to be itself, and it paid dividends. This is a roundabout way of saying all the music is in its native language, and it was the first time I had heard anything like it. Now, I have this weird thing
Yeah,
where
you can't
even
make
when
it these games
listening
in
to
Japan.
quote-unquote
Nowhere can
normal
have these
music,
games anymore.
I don't hear
It
lyrics
sucks.
as words, but rather as an instrument. So 9 out of 10 times I can't understand what people are saying unless it's blatantly obvious. So I think that made the culture shock of Katamari's soundtrack so easy to adjust to, because it never mattered to me. Or, you know, it's just the fact that it's incredible. This
just
soundtrack
good
covers
music,
a lot
yeah.
of ground. Unlike
Buy
most
the
games that would be
guidebook,
scored to
idiot
suit
loot
the
design.
environment,
Yeah,
Katamari
buy the
Damacy
guidebook
goes
and
the
or buy
every
or
song could be an
call this
anime
number.
OP route, such as its two most
One or the
iconic
other.
tracks, Lonely Rolling Star
For games like Katamari, I think it's coming. I honestly think it's coming. I think Katamari had too recent of a release, and they're still re-releasing them.
and the main theme.
I think we're still
Katamari
too
on the
close to
Rocks.
Katamari. Someone will do it though. Someone will resurrect it, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk style. Also, what's up, Petty? How you doing?
There are exceptions, naturally, along with
In the
some
long-term
running
appeal,
themes to add
absolutely.
cohesion. For example, a lot of songs will use synthesized
But
voices.
that said,
such as the
damn,
King's
some games
theme,
are
Fugue
looking gorgeous
number
right now nowadays. Now that I'm actually like,
7777.
now I'm actually like looking at and watching like more recent games. I'm like, wow, graphics have gotten kind of crazy. It won't last forever, but you know they kind of got
Wanda.
real good looking. You say, hey, is this just Katamari Damacy? That's gonna be the worst part about all game. I mean, all gaming history
And
ever.
You are smart.
Like, we have to remember that games used to be called Doom-likes before first-person shooter dropped. And then everything was likened to being Halo.
Then there's the more
and
jazz
then
inspired
I think,
tracks,
and then
like
Dark Souls.
Roll Me In.
The Dark Souls of blank. We're cursed to this. It's never gonna fucking stop. We're in the mix. We're in the mix forever. What are we gonna
Gin
do?
and tonic
I'm gonna
and
complain
red, red
personally.
roses.
I mean, it's not a we thing. It's just more of a I'm going to complain thing, and you all can like make changes to the world. I'm just gonna complain. Games while gamers ignore the good indie stuff. Yeah, oh, it
In
hurts.
case Saturday-
Every time I go online to like Facebook and I see people who are like, "Oh, there's no good games coming out nowadays." I'm like sitting here like, I can't stop playing good
This track
games.
is interesting to
I
me
literally
because
cannot
it's
stop playing good
entirely in
games.
English.
Every time I
Performed
see
by
another game
Charlie
come out, like,
Kosei
I
of
stop.
Lupin the Third fame.
Oh shit.
Coincidentally, or
Didn't know
perhaps
that.
not, is the spectacular Katamari of Love. Performed by Shigeru Matsuzaki. who
But
would
yeah,
later
there was
be a
an era
vocalist
of
on
gaming,
2019's
absolutely petty. That was
Lupin
just
the
like
Third, Prison
they
of
were
the
just
Past.
doing anything. They were
There's
doing
also the
whatever they
loud
wanted.
and in-your
And to a
face
degree, it
Katamari
worked.
Mambo.
But to another degree, it totally didn't work at all. I'm mostly looking at Capcom.
This song goes really hard later on.
Because some people were just misguided. But they took it as, oh, taking a risk is the problem. And it's like, no,
Such
the
a
guiding of the risk was the
Then
problem.
there's the more subdued, introspective pieces like Walking on a Star that plays in the hub world.
Yeah, even I have a lot of free time, and I can't get to every game. I'm blasting through games in my pace.
Or my personal favorite from this game,
I've
The
been
Moon and the
playing
Prince.
so many games nowadays because work's been so freaking slow that I just play games throughout the middle of the day, and I'm just like,
If there's
I
one
can't get to all these
consistent
games.
thing that
I'm
makes me
catching
hate
up
Katamari,
slowly, but I
it's
can't
the
get to all these games.
frequency
Ooh,
of male vocalists harmonizing. If you pay close attention, it crops up all over the series.
God, Apex, Overwatch gaming is so trash now. That's right. That's
The
exactly
only song
right.
I don't vibe with is Cherry
It's like,
Tree
you know, you
Time.
don't have to play those games. There's a lot of good games out there. But you can't tell them that.
Sorry, I just can't tolerate these.
Because they
children
also want the
singing.
game to be free,
This
too.
song plays on Make Taurus
So, like,
too, which
Overwatch,
is just
League of
cherry on top
Legends,
of that
Dota
grooving experience.
has also
But
poisoned
yeah,
the well
if
as
you like
well.
what you hear, I encourage you
Like,
to
the
give
game
the
should
soundtrack
also
the
be
time
free.
and respect it deserves, especially with a pair of
And
headphones on.
I should
These
never
are
have to
some
buy
really
into
long
it ever.
compositions, Too.
It should just
I
be a
mean,
free,
stages in this game will
almost
extend
AAA
well
game.
beyond the 10-minute mark, so to compensate for this, the music and stages will seamlessly alternate between the standard track and a variant with the vocals removed.
Yeah, and if you include emulation, Jesus, yeah. Yeah, even 2 years wouldn't even be enough. Stop buying games. Like, yeah, if you just like stop buying games and focus on it, I'd still be like,
Which helps the music
still like
stay
3
fresh.
years behind.
I also have to give a shout out to the sound design. You can just tell they had a lot of fun with
I
this.
saw an image that
Most
just said,
objects
I
have a
turned
unique
Steam
noise that
purchases
plays
into
upon
unplayed
people.
games. Also, yes, these sound effects are so
Especially
good.
humans. They make some
That's
of the
me.
most
That's me for real,
ridiculous sounds.
Hey, what's happening? Ooh, stop that!
One of my favorite touches is
What's
the decision
happening?
to use record scratching to represent the
good.
king's voice. The pitch will change depending
I'd
on his
probably be
mood,
dead of
too.
old age for like all the games I wanted to get to, right? I wouldn't even be close. I wouldn't even be close.
I just think it's a really creative way
I
to convey his
think I
tone.
could catch up before
But
I die.
yeah,
I think I can catch up
it's
before I
time we
die.
talked about the elephant in the room, the king. I'm sure you already have an idea on what the king is all about.
Because my
He's a
robust
very
mistakes about having
eccentric
yeah.
character. He means
It's like,
well,
wait, you want me
but
to
can
just
come off as
make
rude
the
and
aesthetic?
lazy.
I
mean,
don't
after all,
understand.
you're in this mess because of
Don't you
him.
want me
I don't
to,
see the king rolling the
purchase
Katamari.
something, or-
Allegedly, he was trying to make Ursa
Hey,
Major
good morning
and
to you,
Taurus,
Eskimo.
but
How
the
you
last
doing?
animal,
Ow, ooh,
quote
ow,
unquote,
my bones.
got away. So he
I'm
makes
dead.
it your job to find a replacement. Yeah, that
In
checks
cases
out.
like
I
they
mean,
also
vending
catch up
machines
all the
are
ones,
awfully
right.
fast.
There's
Probably
so
his
many
greatest
good
sin,
games
though, is
available.
being annoying. He takes up
There's
precious
so many,
screen
like,
real estate
not
anytime
even
he
bet.
decides to pop
There's so
in.
many
This happens
great
a
games
lot.
available.
He's
Let's put it
always
that
got
way.
something to say.
Okay,
But in
fine,
all
game. I'll kill the
honesty,
stupid thing.
I love
Ah,
him.
that's why it's killing
I
me.
can see His Highness being a huge turnoff for most people, but I don't know. I've always liked the king. He's that asshole kind of cool.
Actually,
like,
no,
he
I don't want
talks
to kill
a
this
big
thing.
game,
Shit.
but when
Okay,
he
yeah,
enters
don't kill
the
that thing
ring,
yet.
he puts
I'm
on
still
a
trying
show.
to just
His
gather
relationship
stuff.
with his
This is
son
the only way I can
pretty
do it.
unhealthy, though. He's constantly berating his small size or teasing him about how he got him
But
a
like,
present,
there's so
but
many games that like
carelessly
are
lost it
contender for like
every
game of the
single
year this
time.
year
But
alone.
throughout the game, I feel he grows
And
to
like
respect
even
the
that,
prince. Probably
even with
because
that,
you start to remind him of
there's still
himself.
plenty of good
But
games
trust
that are
me,
out there that fall a
you
little bit
do
short of
not
that.
Want to disappoint him.
It's
If
just
you
like,
fail at a stage, not
how
only
can
do you have to
anyone
live with
be
your own
bored?
failure,
I don't
but
know.
The king makes you
I don't know how
it.
people could
He
do
is
that.
Just brutal.
Yeah, even in one and two genres. And to a degree, I'm kind of that one and two genres. Until like very recently.
But at the same time, it feels equally rewarding when you leave him impressed.
Like,
it's a very interesting
with games like Street
dynamic,
Fighter 6 and
I can't
Tekken
say
8
I've
coming
seen
out, that
anything
by
like
itself
this
is like,
elsewhere.
you
He also
know,
looks like
years
he's
of
in the wrong
entertainment,
game,
if that's your
but given
thing.
what we've been dealing with here, that's just
And that's if
par
you
for the
discount,
course.
if you
Since there's
already
a king
drop
and a
Strive.
prince, there's
Or
naturally
don't
a
go back
villain
to
as
any of the
well,
other
though she
games that are
has an
being re-released with
extremely
like
limited
good
presence,
net play.
only appearing in
There's
cutscenes
so
and
much
some
to
passing
do.
dialogue from the king.
Fighting games
Speaking of
alone
cutscenes,
are like
this
a
game
lifetime
has
of playing
a very
games.
memorable opening. It's quite the psychedelic ride, and while not telling you anything about the
Oh
game,
my god, this
it
is still
fun
the
to look
same
at.
year
I
as
always
Tears
like
of the
the
Kingdom.
beginning where the
Like,
lights in the king's
I've
head go
already
up and
forgotten
down in time
yet
with the
again
music.
about Tears of the Kingdom. What a world.
It's so cool. There's also this side story following the Hoshino family, but I never found it all that interesting.
I like the Hoshino
son,
family,
Matsuo,
honestly.
notices the stars vanishing from the sky after seeing it on TV, but his
Too
mom
many
neither believes
games.
him or
Too
seems to
many
care at all.
games.
His
Keep it up,
sister Michiru
but also
is
slow it
only
down
silent,
because
unless you make a constellation,
I can't
Then
buy
she
them
says
all.
the iconic.
Oh, I feel it. I feel the cosmos.
And talks about the constellation.
I don't know if I need antidote herbs or not, actually, now I'm thinking about it.
So yummy.
I don't know, man. It's something, I guess. Eventually, they go to see their father, who's an astronaut, only for him to tell them that the space launch is called off because the moon has
Yeah,
disappeared.
gaming is
Then we
just,
make
this
the
is
moon
such a
and,
good
oops, I
year
guess we
for
rolled them up.
gaming.
Now they're in space. The end. Yeah, it's nothing
We're
to write
getting
home
Deviant
about, but
Art
there's
Mario
also this ending cutscene to complement the
in
opening,
October?
which is equally as
What?
surreal and fun to look at. Just look at the prince go. The only other mode left to discuss is
he high?
multiplayer,
I mean, I hope
which
so.
you can access over on the Space Mushroom.
I also.
Every time you complete
I think
a stage,
everyone's high
one of the
here.
prince's cousins will show up here.
Super
This
Mario
is also
Wonder?
the
What-
only area
what
of
is
the game
Super-
where they're
how do I
playable,
not know
so
what
pick
Super
your
Mario
favorite
Wonder
and Find a
is?
buddy to go head to head with.
Shut
Now, unfortunately, on
up.
PCSX2, there is a bug preventing this mode from working when using the hardware renderer. So please excuse the change in
I
resolution.
don't-
The goal is simple.
I do not
Make
know
a
what Super
larger
Mario Wonder
Katamari
is.
than
I
your
legitimately,
opponent.
I'm
The
not
charge
even
and roll
taking
is
the
also
piss.
enhanced in this
I
mode,
have no
allowing
idea
you
what
to
Super Mario
collide
Wonder
with your
is.
opponent to knock off any objects they've collected.
And Starfield
It's a
apparently
decent
is
distraction,
a
but
game
nothing
that got
worth going out of
released.
your way for. I
It doesn't
do
even seem
think it's
bad.
interesting
It just
that you're
seems like it's
competing for
not
the king
great.
To acknowledge you as the true prince, as he's apparently forgotten what his own
A
son
new
looks
2D
like.
Mario?
That's messed up, man.
There's
Also,
a really
you
good
can drop
Daisy
hands on
frame?
the loser, which is
What?
fun.
Also, what's up, Matt
And
not here?
yeah,
But also,
that's
what?
Katamari Damacy. What a ride, man. My
How-
biggest gripe
I
is the fact
completely
that there's
apparently
only
just
3
missed out
maps
on
and the
this
lack
as,
of
like, an
variety.
existence.
Due to how the Make a Star stages are structured, only 3 of the 10 feel like fully cohesive experiences since you're able to see the full extent of the map, while the rest feel like padding. It would
When
be
did-
like
when
if
did
you
they
rode a
announce
roller
this?
coaster,
How did I miss out
but
on
you
this?
had to stop a third of the way, only to restart and be stopped
Oh,
again
right, and there's City
again
Skylines
until you
2.
finally
I know
can
that
go
was
the
coming
whole
out.
ride
I knew
without
about that
any
one,
interruptions.
ironically.
This would be less of a problem
trailer.
if the
All right,
maps
let
had
me
more
just take a
variety,
moment.
but sadly
I said
they
I'm
don't.
gonna say
The
pause, but
console
I can't pause my game. All right, hold on a sec here. Hold Hold on a sec.
Onward and upward.
There he is. It's Mario. Oh, Alan Wake 2, right. Mario pisses in this. You might have been busy. It still feels weird to say, wait, what do you mean there's a new Mario game coming out? Says man who's been tracking Palm Rush Cyberpunk on a daily basis for the past, like, year. It does remind me of New Super Mario Brothers. Not a bad thing. I think they were fine games. It just looks like he's high. That's all. It just looks like he's high, and that's okay. Mario can be high. That's a treat. Wait, what's this damn trouble knocking? Get rid of this shit. Long Mario is real. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm just eyeballing this game. Tiny, tiny Peach. Oh. Yeah, it seems like they're actually kind of going a little bit more like all out with this idea instead of just like, hey everybody, remember old Mario? We remade old Mario. This is not Charles Martin. Yeah, I did read about Charles Martinet actually backing away from being Mario, which fair, I guess. He's been doing it for so long. He's probably content with everything he's done.
Whoa, Zowie!
Well, that explains a lot.
That Goomba looks so sorry. Well then.
Well, that explains a lot. I remember seeing the elephant Mario. I remember seeing the elephant in the room, and I could not remember. Or I guess I should say I can't remember. I didn't know where that came from. I did not remember to actually look up.
A little bit by tweaking the objective and object layouts, but I don't think they go far enough to truly stand on their own.
Yeah, whoever's doing Mario now
I also
is
dislike
great.
how often the Katamari
I have no doubt that they can have easily find a bunch of Mario.
It's really frustrating how easy it is to
oh,
get stuck
SMRPG
and
remake.
knocked
Maybe
around.
that's what happened.
Despite
I didn't.
all
Maybe I
that,
didn't
the overall
watch.
experience far outweighs
Maybe I didn't
the
even
negatives.
watch.
Katamari Damacy is still a lot of fun,
release,
and it's clear why this game is such a beloved
what do they call it?
classic.
The
Like,
Nintendo
did you know that Cartoon Network's
News.
Chowder
The
did a
Nintendo
total
News, that's what they
homage
call
to
it.
this game?
Uh,
They even made their own legally
Wow,
distinct version
did they?
of Katamari on the Rocks. Now,
Okay, that's
according
great.
to series creator
That's
Sage
great.
Greenblatt's blogspot, the King of the Sky was even directly inspired by
Oh yeah,
the
there's
King of all
definitely
Cosmos.
no way. There's definitely no
The
way.
Simpsons game also featured Milhouse
Ach.
parodying the King of all Cosmos, going under the alias Mr. Dirt. I can't really explain why he's called that. He just is. The King and the Prince
But
also
yeah, I guess
appeared
maybe I
in a
just-
Mad sketch as well,
I-
with the Prince being sued for rolling
I
up
heard
everyone's
about
stuff
Super Mario
into his
RPG.
Katamari.
Maybe that's where my
Also,
mentality stopped.
legally
Like,
distinct
oh yeah,
Sonic
people
and
are
Crash
watching
Trigger
this
2.
thing.
Or
Oh,
take
Super Mario
that
RPG,
Travelers
that's
commercial
great.
That's undeniably
And then
Katamari influenced
immediately
as
forgot
well.
to like look at
Like,
anything else
wow,
around
this
it.
is horrifying in reality. Clearly, Katamari Damacy didn't go unnoticed and is worthy of its success. So the question now is, how do you follow that up?
Yeah, early next year is Final Fantasy VII R2 Rebirth, I think it is, but I don't know. I've been calling it R2. Also belatedly, what's up, Metabot? How you doing? More Daisy voice lines. Look, you see, Daisy, you want one thing out of life. That's it.
Released on July 6th, 2005 in Japan, in September 20th, 2005 in North America, We Love Katamari is what any sequel ought to strive for. It keeps what worked from the original, polishing what was already established, while also
Thinking
adding
about
so,
meats?
so much more. This
gotta
is
love
also
the
where my
meats.
story with the series starts.
Is
as
there like a
We Love
barbecue coming this
Katamari
weekend?
was actually
I hope
my
the answer is
first
yes.
Katamari game. This likely plays a role in my bias, so
64
we'll
games
circle
back.
back to that line
They-
of
they are
thought,
too
but
scared to make
man,
Daisy
do I
tan.
remember the amount
They're
of
afraid.
confusion I had when this was first described to me. It was either late elementary or early middle school.
They should,
but
though.
I
They
would have been
gotta.
around 10 years old, and I actually heard it from
Yeah,
word
the
of
Super
mouth
Mario
by my
RPG
friend
remake.
Dom.
I'm
Given our
excited
age and
for
how
it, but I'm
niche
not, like-
Japanese media was at the
I'm not
time,
falling
I
head over
can't
heels for it, if that
imagine
makes
the odds
sense.
of this happening.
It's kinda like,
but I
I'll wait
digress.
for it.
He had received
I'm not-
a demo disc from the official
I'm going to be told
PlayStation
it's coming out in a
magazine,
week. I was
which
like, oh
just so
yeah,
happened
that's
to
coming
feature
out.
We Love
That's basically what's gonna
Katamari.
happen.
After he played it, he came to school the next day telling me and our other friend Philip all about it. I remember
'Cause,
being
I don't
so
know.
confused because when I heard the word
I didn't have, I guess, a
Katamari,
desire
my brain
to
went,
really, like, you
"Calamari?"
know.
So as he was describing
The
the
game
to
still
me,
was very
I
good,
thought it was about
currently.
pulling this
I don't know what
disgusting
they are
fishball
going
all
to
over a
do or
table
add that
as
makes me
it
go like,
slowly
yes,
gets all dirty,
that's
picking up
the
everything that's
missing
lying
sauce.
around while the
Nothing
Burger
really
King
feels like the
shoots
missing
lasers
sauce
at
at this
you
point in
from
my
his
head.
eyes.
So I'm kind of like,
While
eh,
that is true to some degree,
that'll
it
be
wasn't
great when it
exactly
comes
right.
out.
Being
I
intrigued,
will
we
probably
ended up hanging
play
out
some
over
of
the
it,
weekend, and
and
it all
knowing me,
finally
may
made
not finish
sense.
it.
And man, this demo is awesome. I mean, it even has co-op, which is a new addition
Yeah, but
to the
that's the
series
thing.
as
It's
well.
like, I'll
The
just
demo
listen to
features
it.
2
I'll
levels,
just listen
the
to it, and I'm like,
school
yeah,
and
this
the
is
flower
great. They
stage.
remade the
These both
music,
deviate a bit from
and
the
some of it
final
I'll
game,
agree with, and some of
mostly
it I
in
will not
object
agree with,
layout and music
probably,
choice,
knowing
which was
me.
actually jarring to me when I played the retail game, just from the sheer amount of time I spent
So, like,
playing
that part
this
would be
demo
great, but that's,
over
like,
and over again.
it's still, like,
I
disjointed
even
from the
managed
game,
to
though,
convince
right?
Don to let me borrow
I don't
the
need to
demo
play the
disc
game to
because
get
I
that
was just
experience.
so
Someone's gonna rip it,
enamored.
like, very
I
quickly.
could not
Yeah.
get enough
Also,
of
she's
it.
Princess
and
of a Desert
I
Kingdom. Why
just
does she have
had
a
to
tan?
convince my mom to let me get it.
I agree. I
I
agree
was
with that.
really
It's like,
lucky
come
to
on.
find it at GameStop.
It makes sense.
considering
Everything
how
makes
rare
sense.
this game is. So despite being used, I'm pretty sure I paid full price
Yeah.
for it. And
But,
I say
yeah,
pretty
same
sure
thing,
because I
Alex.
no
It's like,
longer
I'm
have
not
the
foaming.
case since
I'm
it was
just
damaged
waiting.
from a house fire.
I'm awaiting it,
The
and I'll be like,
majority
this will
of
be
my
great.
old games I just have loose in this binder.
Okay, where is the?
But yeah, that's where it all started. It was love at
Remember
first
when games
sight.
had
Now, for
demos?
people coming right off of Katamari Damacy, this
Demos
game
were
makes
a
an
completely
excellent
different
first
era of
impression in
gaming.
what it's trying to achieve and the kind of tone
It
it's
definitely
trying to
doesn't
set.
work
So I
nearly
thought it
as
would be
good
fun to go
nowadays
on that
because
journey
we
together,
have such a
step
short
by
amount of
step.
time to
After
make
creating
judgments
a
on
save file, we're
is this
greeted
game good
with
or
a
not?
new opening cinematic,
I have to either
which is now a
decide right
series
now
staple at this
or
point.
and
We see
pre-purchase
all
it so I don't
kinds of
forget,
stuff.
or I have
The
to
pandas,
just
the
kind of
Hoshino
throw it away
family, and
mentally
even the
because
Jungle
I don't
Gang.
have time
Before
to
I knew what their
play
names
some extra
were,
games.
my friends and I would just call them French robots. After this,
Alterations
we
is about
see the
combat
title
system.
screen,
Okay.
which is actually interactable.
I didn't mean to actually
If you
swing
wait long
there, but
enough,
I'm
then
glad I
the
did.
text will actually change. Once we hit start, we jump right into a summary of the story up until this point. This part is just hilarious. It's
I knew it
done
was, like,
with this
very close.
professional sounding narration, yet at the same time, completely self-aware.
Such is the great cosmos, and the king that rules over it is marvelous to behold. Except for the one time that he destroyed all the stars in the universe. No big deal,
really good.
It's brilliant. I honestly feel guilty not showing the full clip, but we got
Yeah,
a
they made
lot
some
of ground
alterations
to
on the
cover, so
combat system,
We
but
learned
I'm-
that
I'm
due
curious
to
to see
the
what that
success
is.
of Katamari Damacy, which is apparently
also a little
canon
bit like-
in universe as a video game, that the king is now a superstar and is being
Eh,
inundated
eh.
by his
Is
fans.
that good? Is that gonna be good? I think he should be bigger. He's like, get out of here, you pervert.
With his ego stroked, what else is the king to do but to give his fans what they want? And so, he decides it's time.
To do his thing.
It's not 30 seconds of gameplay or so. Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with demos in general. It's just like you can kind of
love that
judge
part.
in 30
I'm
seconds
just
in,
as
but
excited as that
not
guy.
all games
I also
are,
like
you
how
know,
they take a jab at the
judgeable
fact
within a
that all
demo
the stars created during
outset.
the last game are definitely not
There's some
enough
games
to
that I feel
replace
like
our
I've
whole solar
played
system.
that are just
So
like,
yeah,
oh, the demo
this
sucked.
is a
I didn't like
sequel
my
to a game
few
that
seconds
is
of the game
self-aware
or a
that
few
it's
minutes of the
sequel.
game.
Genius.
And
After
only
this,
come back
we're
to it later,
dropped
like
for
years
a
later,
brief
I'm like,
chat
ah,
with the
god
king,
damn it.
who is
I'm
reminiscing on
stupid.
how he destroyed
I'm
the
fucking
stars
stupid.
and pondering what fans like the
Alright,
most
so
about
those
it.
give me screamers.
Concluding, it must be his chin. Sounds
It's-
about right to me. As you can see, His
damn
Highness
it.
is sporting a new, groovy look. His voice sample has changed too. It's still a record scratch, but the sample that's used is new.
Alright, screamers equal Velocidrome missions. So I think I'm
After
gonna need some
chatting,
sound
we're
bombs as
dropped
well.
in the
so I'm gonna get
select
some
meadow,
screamers.
which acts as the main hub. We then notice that someone is eager to
Just
speak with us.
play for
the
several
soccer boy.
hours of a game,
Oh
so I'm
dear,
not 100%
he's
on board
forgotten
yet,
how
and
to
sometimes
play
I'll do it if I am
Katamari
100% on
Damacy
board.
and
Yeah.
wants us to help him
And board
remember.
purchases are a good
And
purchase.
this, my
Like,
friends,
there's nothing
is
wrong
the
with it.
formula of how
It
stages are
sucks from
handled
the
this time
producer
around.
side because that
A
means
fan
people
will
are
have a
willing to
request.
judge the game, and
You
it will
bring up
cut
the
the
request to the king.
what's
The
what I'm
king
looking
will
for?
harshly
The,
deny the request, but when all hope is lost,
the
fan
off the
will
cuff.
speak
There's a
up
word
with
I'm looking
some
for
sort
here.
of compliment.
impulse
And
purchases
just like
that
he folds like a
you know.
lawn chair. completely changing his attitude.
That's so good.
It's
I love
funny
that so much about this
every
game.
time.
It's funny every
Like
single
he
time.
equates forgetting Katamari Damacy like
but yeah, like
forgetting the
it
meaning
really
of
hurts
life.
the impulse
Then
buying
the fan
of
is like,
games because you have to
"You're
just
so
try it
cool,
out.
Mr.
But
King." And he's like, we need to remember how to play right now. Now we're in the tutorial, and right away,
it's just
wow,
like, cool.
Big difference on how the Katamari feels.
from the consumer
control
standpoint,
scheme
we have a
is
lot of games we
identical,
could buy
but
nowadays.
movement
Like
is
games
way
are
more
way too good. The
responsive.
market is
The
way too
Katamari
good right
stops
now.
on a dime,
We need
and
any help
overall
we
is
could
way
possibly
faster. It just
give to
feels
ourselves
really good to roll now.
to
The tutorial
make
is a bit
decisions
more
to buy
fleshed out
games
this
or not
time,
buy games.
allowing you to actually roll up objects and climb walls, which
think it's
now
Screamer
works
70,
properly.
right?
Hooray! The look and jump are fleshed out a bit more, so now you can appreciate the environment
Screamer
even
70.
better than before. And oh, look at that! We're rolling on the king's head.
Hmm.
As we remember how to play the game we just completed, the king drops us an objective. We need to roll up our
Yeah, these
cousin,
screamers. Okay.
Ace, in order to complete the stage. And honestly,
How
despite
many
being a
screamers do I
tutorial,
have
this
currently?
feels like a legitimate first level. I mean, the map is unique along with the objects that
Three,
appear
the
here.
Italian or off
Anyways,
white side
once
was
we
worth
roll
for me.
Ace,
I think it's
the
fair.
king
I think it's fair
congratulates
because
us
you know
and
they're
warps us
so
out
well
with his
experienced with the
new
game,
royal
playing a lot of the
rainbow.
randomizers and whatnot. It's just like cool. They will have very strong opinions. Also, they're good at having strong opinions. I have strong opinions,
At
but
the
I
results screen,
delay
the
my
soccer boy
opinions
tells
so
us he's
fucking
grateful
long
for
by
the
comparison to most
refresher
people.
course, and as a token of gratitude, he
But
lets us
I'll
eat
give
the
a very
Katamari.
thorough opinion once I'm
Humbled,
done.
the king is
You know,
unsure
whatever the
what
fuck
to
I
do with
finish
it,
any
but
game.
then
Oh, I have 31
realizes it would
screamers.
be
Never
best
mind.
to pop
I
it
did
out
not
into
think I have
the
any
cosmos,
screamers.
turning the Katamari
Okay.
into a planet. Yep, this time we're making planets. Side note, I love how the king's hand crawls
for,
in
like,
and out of
games,
frame
sometimes I'm
when he
way off,
reviews
because
the
I play
cousins
Final
you rolled
Fantasy
up.
12.
The squeaky noise is just icing on the cake.
That's
Now
fair.
we're back at the select meadow, and oh,
I think
look,
Final Fantasy
there's
12 is
Ace
fine.
again. Oh,
I will
we
not
can
say
play
it's
as
one of my
him too.
favorites or anything
Yep.
like that, but I
Now
will also say
cousins
I think I
are
was
no
too
longer
young for
restricted
Final
to
Fantasy 12,
multiplayer and
so I didn't
can
get
be
the
used
nuances of the
freely in
game,
single
and
player.
I was
So
kind of
in
in
addition
a.
to the returning
So I
presents,
totally.
each stage
The game
features
came
one
out
or more
early
cousins
on
you can
pirating
collect.
services,
Long
so
as
I
you
definitely
keep them
kind of
rolled up
got
in
it
your
early
Katamari,
because of
they'll
pirating
become
services.
playable.
But I was
Every
trying to
stage
also
will
beat
denote
out
what
another game that was
presents
coming out,
cousins you haven't
so I
collected
beat it in
while
like
speaking with
a
the
week and a
associated
half.
fan.
So I can get
It's
it out
over
of the
here at
way.
top left.
So
it's much
I didn't
easier to
get
keep
any
track
of the
of
story.
them.
I
In
rushed through the game as
Katamari
fast as
Damacy, the
possible.
only way of
I didn't
knowing
really
what
do anything
stage
with the
you
game,
missed
so
the
that's
present
why it's
on
forgettable
was
for
dependent on
me.
whether or not
But if
the
I played
king
it
made
again, I'm
mention
sure I
of
would like
one.
it actually
So
more.
This is a far
because
more
I just
efficient
rushed through it.
solution and gives opportunity for the king
But
to
I
talk
also
about
didn't buy
something else.
either, so, you know,
wait, back up.
a lot
There's
of fucked
two
up shit
cousins
there.
in the tutorial? What if we did the tutorial as Ace? Would that mean we roll up the prince? Not quite. Instead, we'll find Slip, who looks like the prince if he were made out of cardboard. Slip is one of the many new cousins in this game, which the king will denote as second
Most
cousins.
anything
But yes,
really
all
happens
of the
with
cousins
me.
from the first game return here as well.
Petty's out
with
here saying,
many
"Yo, I'm
featuring
built
slight
different.
redesigns.
You can't defeat me."
So
Just
let's
me
keep
too,
chugging
bro,
along.
to make
The next
impulse
fan we speak to
purchases.
is the
Yeah, getting a
Rainbow
job
Girl.
was the worst thing that's
Oh,
ever
hey,
happened
we're
to
able
me.
to change the music now. That's cool.
Having
Oh, I
equitable
see. She
living
wants to see the royal
funds
rainbow
was
for
the
herself.
worst thing that ever
Unfortunately,
happened to
the
my,
king is
my
hungry
gaming
and not very
ability.
interested until she mentions how
That's
striking he is. Then he's like, oh, she's right. Rainbows are great. Eating is for chumps. And then we're off to the first as large as possible stage, which acts as this game's equivalent to the Make a Star stages. Our goal is to make a 15 centimeter Katamari in 3 minutes. And wow,
do these do
what a
anything?
step up in presentation. We're rolling around a house again, but man, is this level design such an improvement. There's a lot of areas to explore,
like, I know
especially
I've been- I was
vertically.
supposed to
Like
look at that
one
stuff
moment
earlier,
you'll be
but-
on the coffee table, but then you might decide to hop up on the couch, which will then finally lead you to this cabinet. And these stages are just filled to the brim with objects. But unlike
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
first
really help
game,
anything.
their placements feel a lot more natural. In Katamari Damacy, objects
I tried
just
it,
kind of
hated it, I
defied
shelved it for over
gravity
6
and
months,
stood straight
goddamn.
up. They were
Finished
also
Final
placed
Fantasy 12 as
around
well.
in
It came
patterns,
really
so it
close
just felt
twice.
somewhat
Oh,
sterile,
no.
But here, everything just
Does it
makes
really
sense.
gas?
They
I
have
mean,
this
I remember
sense
the
of
last dungeon,
naturalness,
like, being
and it just lends
pretty-
itself to far more interesting
lot.
level design. It also means there's a
Kind of
lot
like in
less
the sense
time
of like,
spent trying
ooh,
to find things to
they
help
ran
you
out of
get bigger.
ideas and they were told to
That's
make
not
the game
say it's
longer than Final
brainless,
Fantasy
it's
10.
just better paced. Another change is the inclusion of
I
multiple
love
starting
this game, what the
locations.
fuck?
This makes replaying levels feel a little more fresh.
Yeah, I
since
think
your
a
initial
lot more people
progression through a
nowadays would
stage
love
will
Final
have
Fantasy
some
12
variety.
just because of like Final
Naturally,
Fantasy
some
14
starting
being so damn
locations are better
successful
than others, so
that people are
this
gonna go
can
back
be
and be like,
viewed
wait a
as
second.
double-edged sword
Oh
for
shit.
speedrunning purposes,
It's
but
like Final
casually,
Fantasy
I think
14,
this is
but-
a welcome addition.
but
you can now restart a level
Younger.
without exiting back to the hub, so if you prefer one starting location over the other, you can repeat this until you get the one you want. Anyways, we complete the level, she sees the royal rainbow and gives us the Katamari so we can make another planet. This time, we're greeted with our first cutscene, and oh, is that the king of all cosmos as a child? Oh wow, his dad is very traditional. Oh man, no wonder he turned out the way he did. So instead of the typical approach of tying the narrative to gameplay, We Love Katamari instead chose to explore the king's origins, his upbringing, how he met the queen, and eventually how he took on the crown. It's a far more engaging story than the Hoshino family, which I just found boring.
Got
But
the
this is
drop
just
kick in there.
great.
That's so good.
It's dramatic, but also has its share of levity.
Yeah, the last
and
few
it's
dungeons
done
are
without a
long. Yeah,
single
like I
piece of
remember the last
dialogue.
one being pretty damn
I also
long.
like the king's
but I was
reaction
really
to it
just
as
like,
well.
I remember being
He's
up
like,
really late at
"It's a
night, trying to
storyboard,
grind
but
through it.
the
Cause I'm like,
pictures
oh, this
move,
game comes
and
out in
there's
like 2 more
music.
days.
An
If I
extreme
just make it through this
storyboard,
really
that's
long
what it
dungeon,
is.
I can just
It's
play
called a
whatever
movie?
game. I
What
can't
a
remember what fucking
dork.
game was coming out
So
at the
at
time.
this point, the gameplay
Just gonna be ready
formula
for the
has
next
been
game.
established. Fans show up with requests.
I think it was Phantasy
you
Star
fulfill
Universe.
those
I think
requests
it had to be
and
Phantasy Star Universe,
then more
right?
stages open up and
I
you
say
complete
right
them
as
in
if, like,
whatever order
you know,
like.
I'm-
There is an overarching goal, however, and that is to roll up the
Like,
sun.
everyone
Now,
in the
who would
world was
make such
excited
a
for
request,
Phantasy Star
you ask?
Universe.
Why, this cute little doggy, of course.
In the cloud. Maybe we're trying to pick it up
you
again?
didn't know Katamari Damacy was popular with
I mean, if you
animals?
remember the story at this point, then
When
yeah,
you
I would
attempt to
say
roll up
heck,
the sun,
just
you'll quickly
start
find out
where
that
you
you're
left
way
off.
too
You can learn how to
small.
play the game
This
again pretty
sets you
quickly.
up for the main objective.
like.
Creating as many planets as it takes until you're large enough to roll
20
up the
hours.
sun.
20 hours and burned out.
On top
That's
of
also fair. I
creating
didn't do any,
planets,
like,
you're still
damn near
able to
any
create
side
shooting
content,
stars if
honestly.
you're fast enough. But there's also
So
an
there's also
additional
that. I also
celestial
did not
body
do any
you can
side
create.
content, so I
Satellites.
really rushed that game. So I
Satellites
do want
are
to try it
bonus
again.
arrangements of a stage.
I do want to try it
featuring
again
a
at some
different
point.
objective. Using as large as possible one as an example, the satellite variant has you making a 15-centimeter Katamari as fast
Like, if
as
I
you
had the
can.
time, I would go
so
through a lot
basically,
of
the moment you start rolling,
other
a timer will
Final
start,
Fantasies that I
and
haven't
once
played in
you've
a
hit the
while or
requested
didn't get like
size,
that much of a
that's it.
shake.
Now this
Like, I've
might
never played
sound
Final
the same
Fantasy.
as
I've
the
never played
normal
Final Fantasy
objective,
5,
but
so I
these
need to.
as
I want to
fast
play
as
that
possible
someday.
Variants will feature different object layouts, different
I would like to
starting
replay
location,
Final
or
Fantasy
even a
7
different starting size.
and
So in
9,
a stage where you normally start out at 10 centimeters
and then
ending
12
with
as well.
3 meters,
And
the satellite
as fucked up as
variant
it sounds
may start
like,
you off
I
at
would like to
1.5
retry
meters.
13.
Other satellite variants will have unique objectives or additional
Because I
difficulty
went in
levels.
with pretty
So like
rose-tinted
Katamari
glasses because I
Damacy,
actually
let's
rented it
review
from the
every
library. I
stage,
brought it
and
from the
I'll offer
library,
my
so I
own
didn't pay any money
anecdotes
for it
along
when I
the way.
played it.
Since we
But I had to
covered
return
as
it before
large
I
as
finished it
possible
at the
one
very
already,
end.
let's hop right
And
into
I'm not
As
sure if I
large as
burned out or if
possible
I really
this
just
request
wasn't
comes from
liking the
Lazy
game
Bones,
at all.
Who wants to see a big Katamari before he falls asleep?
Yes.
Your goal is to reach 40 centimeters in 6 minutes. And once again, we're starting in the house, though now it's completely overrun by cats.
Yeah.
Once we reach 20 centimeters, we can roll outside. However, once you leave the house, you can't go back in since you drop right off the balcony. Overall, this is a very cute stage. Like, one of the first things you'll run into is this little picnic setup. But yeah, I really dig the vibe of the outside area. It's this
Trying
cozy
to do
slice
damage
of
to
a
this thing so I don't have
Japanese
to worry about
suburb.
it later,
The
but try not
satellite
to kill
variant
it
of
either
this
on
stage is
accident.
as fast as possible too, where you start off at 30 centimeters and need to reach 50. In other words, we're just bypassing the first half of the normal variant and cutting straight to the outside area. One subtle
I
addition
played
is that
14.
any new object you've rolled up will be shown in rainbow
I
text.
played 14 for a bit.
While any object
I
you've already
capped out my
collected
character,
will
which
be
was
shown
60
in
at the time.
standard white. This is
Then
helpful
I
for
called it a
those that
day.
enjoy completing
I
the
just
returning
really
collection, as you can now tell
play
at a
art
glance if you
MMORPGs
picked up
wrong.
something new.
I would like them
As
more if I
large as
actually like
possible to read.
This
spent more
request
time
comes
actually
from
playing for other
Grandpa,
people
who wants
instead
to
of just
try
by myself.
Katamari Damacy for himself
Surprise,
before letting
surprise.
his
But
grandson
I play
play.
MMORPGs
Your goal
very,
is
very
to
weird.
reach 3 meters in 10 minutes.
The only game on the list. I'm actually
starting
not used to
I do want to
it.
point out
Just
that the
play
game
Final
does make an
Fantasy
effort
5.
to diversify this
Wow,
area,
that's a really good
despite being
recommendation.
repeated
What other
as
games
the
do you
starting
have?
location
That's
for a
it.
third
That's a
time.
list.
For
I
example,
ate the rest of the
couch
list.
is totally gone, and in its place is an ironing board along with a
Wow.
fridge. Oh, and don't forget that trademark sense of humor. This time, once we reach 50 centimeters, we can start rolling around the town. The town is fairly
Yes, you're
condensed.
for not that I play
There's
Final
a lot
Fantasy
of
as much as I'm
places of
out to.
interest, such as a farm,
I will
a
not go
railroad
back to
where a
Final Fantasy
train will
14.
run
I probably
through,
won't go back to any
and a recess
MMOs
area
in
outside
any
of the
sort of
school,
serious
which
capacity.
even has a
I'll
swimming
have
pool.
my
The
weekend
satellite
flings
variant
with
of the
games
stage
like
is as fast as
Ragnarok
possible
Online,
too, where you start off at 1.5
Phantasy
meters
Star
with the
Online,
goal of
and
reaching 3
if there
meters.
is one,
This is where the time
Phantasy Star
attack stages
Universe,
start to get
but that's
interesting,
pretty
because you're
much
already at a
it.
size
That's
where you
pretty
can
much
roll up
it.
people.
As large as possible.
Mahjong Master Title. I
This
didn't even know
request
what
comes from
Mahjong
Grandma,
was
who's
at the
just
time.
bored and looking for something exciting to do. Your goal is to reach 12 meters in
And
12
I won't
minutes.
get it. I can
This time
barely
starting
even get it
outside of the
in
house.
fucking
Once you reach 3
Mahjong
meters,
Soul.
you're able to start exploring
You
the
tell me I have
city.
to do that with
this
people
layout
who
is already a huge
probably
improvement
literally
over
get on the
Katamari
Final Fantasy
Damacy.
14
All
and
of
to
the
play
changes
Mahjong?
in
No.
elevation are handled by
Fuck that
hills
shit.
and ramps. So even if you were to fall
It's a little
off,
loud?
it's
Okay.
a lot easier to
Gotcha,
get back
gotcha.
up. Once you're large enough, I like returning to the starting area so I can effortlessly pick up everything there. It's as satisfying as ever.
There we
the
go.
satellite variant of this stage is
I
as
think
fast
that might
as
be better.
possible
We'll
forward,
find out.
Where you start off
Also,
at 10
what's up,
meters
Atizian?
with
How
the
you
goal
doing?
of
Thank you for the
reaching
good
20
luck.
meters.
We won't be finishing it today. We won't be finishing it today here. We will be finishing it most likely Saturday. I'm just going to set up for success on Saturday.
This request comes from the bird and elephant. With the
Wait,
bird
but Carol, do you even have the Mahjong Master? Wait, hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Calling the kettle black out here. Do you have the Mahjong Master title?
12 meters,
Chiral.
The world is your oyster to roll around in. This stage is this game's equivalent of Make the Moon from Katamari Damacy. It is also the last of the sequential.
I'm
as
here,
large
your
as possible stages. Yep, we're here already.
What's up, microwavable
To put it simply,
frog?
This stage is incredible. It takes everything
How you
good about
doing?
Make the Moon while also reaching for even greater heights. You can get
Yes, I do on 2 characters. Well,
really
god damn
big
it.
on this stage. Like over
Well,
4
god
times the
damn
size
it.
of Make
Let
the
me
Moon,
borrow one of
which
your
capped
characters
at a
real
little
quick.
over 800 meters. It truly feels like the world this time too, because
so
the
that way
map
I
is
don't-
just
I didn't
littered
just, like,
with
you know,
familiar landmarks.
put my own
You've got
foot in my
the
mouth.
Statue of Liberty, the Great Wall of China, the
I'd be good at
Egyptian
John to do
pyramids,
that.
Big Ben, and
Same.
much
You and me
more.
both, Jen.
Yeah, you'll have to suspend your
We'll never be
disbelief because
Mahjong
none of these
masters. We'll
locations
just
are
look
actually
at
this close to
Chiral
each other, but
and
it's
just
like
kind of
strolling
fawn
through a theme
over
park of world
his
culture, except, of
tiles
course,
from
you're
afar.
rolling a ball of
Wow, do you
instruction.
see how he
Wonder if
discarded
any
that
countries find
Dora
this
with no
offensive.
fear?
One cool thing
Oh,
about
he's
this
so
stage is
cool.
any cousin you've collected
Kyril's
will
so
also
cool.
appear in this level, all with their own little spot they take refuge in, typically associated with their personality or
I don't need a title. I
They
am
actually
just
do
a
this in other stages
Mahjong
as well,
master.
but not to this degree. It's also
I think you
possible to
replaced
vault
that
the
T
king
with
of
an
all
H there,
cosmos,
Chris.
which gives us a bit of insight
Yo,
into
what
how
up,
it
Chris?
feels
How you
to be rolled
doing?
up, stating
Happy
that it's an
Thursday to you as
incredible
well. Hope
feeling.
you're having a good
Happy,
one.
But also
But I'm doing pretty
dreamy.
good.
The
Doing
best
pretty
even.
good here.
On
Feeling
subsequent
pretty good about
playthroughs,
this
it's
game
also
finally
possible
because
to
I'm
roll up the queen
potentially
well. At the
at
results
the
screen,
end. I
the
say
king
potentially because I don't know
mentions
how
that
hard
it's
the last boss is going to
amazing
be
inside
or how much of a
Katamari.
pain in the ass it's going to be,
Oh, wait,
but
we can't talk about it.
nonetheless,
Move along.
it's very
is
likely.
being rolled up by the Katamari, like,
I'm very likely going to finish it this Saturday,
the satellite
hopefully.
variant of the stage
But
is
we'll
as
see.
fast as
We'll see when we
possible
get
vibe,
there.
Where you start off at 2
But
meters.
Saturday's
with
gonna be
the goal
basically
of
all
reaching
attempts.
1,000 meters. This sadly doesn't feel all too different from the normal version of
If
the
you,
stage.
if I can do it, y'all can do it. I don't know
Considering
about
you
that
start
one,
out
Chief.
at basically the same size, but there are some
There's a lot
minor
of things I
differences
can't
in
do.
object arrangement.
Mahjong feels like
So,
it's one
if
of
you
them.
haven't
I
caught
have
on yet,
dog
all
shit
of these
mentality
stages
for the
take
game.
place on the same map, which means that unfortunately the whole roller
See,
coaster
microphone
styles that we
I
threw
changed
away
my
with the
Discord
restart
icon to a
problem
frog
I
escape.
had with Katamari
Look, all
Damacy is
frogs
still
are
present.
microwavable, so you don't have to
However,
worry
I do
about that. It's
feel
easy.
they're different enough to keep
All
things
frogs are
interesting.
built
You
equal,
could
and
make
all of
the
them are
argument that it's lazy
microwavable.
because Katamari Damacy had 3 maps, but you
Oh,
can't
now I made
overlook
myself
that these
a
are
little
all
sad.
interconnected to create one massive
Mahjong
map.
Master, you going to ECT?
It's
We're
kind
gonna
of
have
like
a
an
table.
open
Nah, I
world
will
if
not be
you
at
think
ECT,
about it.
unfortunately.
It's pretty ambitious for the
Unless
time,
someone out there
but
is
if
just
you
like,
think
I will give
getting
you
bigger is all that
$500 to go to
Katamari has to
ECT,
offer.
and I'm like, well, all right then.
Buckle up, because this is where things get really
I'll go.
interesting.
You push the right
Underwater.
buttons.
This request
Of,
comes from the
I have a
floating boy
limited
who
amount of
is
money.
learning how to swim and wants to practice by rolling the Katamari
We'll be at
underwater.
Frosty's too.
Your
Yeah,
goal is
we'll
to
see
reach
at
80
Frosty's.
centimeters
Frosty's
in
is like one of
6
my most
minutes,
busy tournaments
taking
nowadays,
place
I
on a
feel
new
like.
map, which is some kind of pond. Naturally,
Frosty's
this
and Combo
stage
Breaker
takes
both.
place underwater, which even the fan
And I've been
knows that
really
they
wanting to play.
couldn't
I've been
do in
really into
Katamari
playing
Damacy.
XR again as of late.
Now,
I've been playing a
because we're
lot of
rolling
XR
underwater,
as of
the
late.
Katamari
So
experiences some slow momentum,
every time I'm
especially
like,
as it
yeah,
descends,
I'm gonna
but
make it to the
rolling on
Mahjong
floor is
table.
about
I
the
never
same.
make it to the
To put
fucking
it
Mahjong
simply,
table.
The theming is perfect here.
I just need
This
to
is
fucking
what
go. I
Pisces
just need to do it.
wishes
Need to just
could
like
be.
carve out some
Anything
time.
and
Like, hey, I
everything you
can't
can find
commentate
underwater
from
is
these
present.
hours to
Even
these
things
hours.
that
I
shouldn't
have
be.
to go play
There's also
Mahjong in
fishing
person.
lines strewn
Lose,
about, so if
be
you get
upset,
hooked, you'll
go
be unable
home.
to move for a bit as
But
you try to break
and then
free.
they'll be like,
So
but
be
it's
careful.
Friday.
Once
You
you're
can't go
large
home
enough,
yet. We
it's
need you for
actually
Saturday.
possible to reach the
No, I'm
surface,
going home.
which is useful for
Gotta
locating
say
the
Mahjong
duck that's
sucks.
carrying the
I'm
present.
gonna go home.
Overall, I really like this stage. The beginning can be challenging, but once you reach a
They're there
certain
all
size,
hours.
it's
Yeah, it's
really
true.
fun
It's
to dash
true.
around
I
and just
sometimes
get as
walk
big as
by
you
it
can.
and I'm like,
The
oh, it is
satellite
like
variant of the
11
stage
p.m.
is
I'm
as
done with my
fast
last
as
commentary
possible,
block.
where
I'm
you
going
start
to
off at
bed.
30 centimeters
I
with the
cannot sit
goal
down
of
for an
reaching
hour
60
game of
centimeters.
Mahjong.
Nothing too much to note for
I
this,
cannot
but
do
since
that.
the beginning of the stage is the hardest part, getting a good time definitely
With
requires
triple
you to
triad
plan out
table
the
though,
efficient route.
whenever you bring it,
Now,
Alzrab,
earlier I
just
mentioned
just
that
bring
the
a deck
last
of triple
stage,
triad.
as large as possible
You
five,
probably
was
could
the
actually
last
just like make your own
sequential
deck of like
as
triple
large as possible
triads and
stage.
just
And this
bring
is
it
what
up
I
to
meant
the
by
homies.
that. So
Like,
while
hey,
the
we're
stage
playing.
is categorized the same, it doesn't follow the pattern of
Being
getting
playing out these
bigger
because
than
at all
the last
time,
stage.
yeah. Yeah.
So it instead finds its identity in its
I believe you
theme
can do
or
that,
gimmick.
Alzarab.
You're still getting as big as you can, but there's an additional layer of
Free
challenge.
Mahjong
and
Games
find
Day.
it
One was
more
4-player with
engaging than
Counted
the
Yakuman. No
Constellations
participation on my
first
part. So I went
Flowers.
back to Sanma.
This request comes from
Time for
a Katamari
Mahjong,
teacher
a version of
who
Mahjong
wants
that's a
to
little
know
bit more
what
stable,
Val
insane, and
Ikebana.
doesn't have
I
high
guess
scoring,
that
ridiculous
means rolling
hands.
a Katamari
That's a
around
counted
here.
Yakuman.
Your goal is to
Goodbye.
collect as many flowers
If I'm
as
going to have to bother
possible in 5
Yakumans
minutes.
anyway, I
Once
might as well
again,
have a chance at one.
Constellation-style objective done way better on a unique map with far stronger theming.
You got a new
There's
cat?
all
Oh, hell
kinds of
yeah.
flowers to roll up. Even a Mario-style Venus
How
flytrap.
how is the
There's also an
new cat
abundance
doing? Is it
of
like a new
mythical
cat as in like
creatures, too,
a
like
kitten,
fairies,
or are
a
you just like kind of like
centaur, and
adopted
even
one?
the 7 dwarves make
I mean, I guess you can
appearance,
adopt a kitten
though if you
too,
roll
but-
them up, nothing happens. Even the king is disappointed. There's also
You
this
play
woman
Mahjong at the
that pops out of
commentators
the lake,
table.
but when you roll her up, you find out it's actually
Midway through
God.
grand finals,
Whoa,
you hear
even the
fuck
king is
and
stumped.
the
This
sound of a
stage is
bunch
really
of
fun.
clacking
If you recall
tiles
from
hitting the
earlier,
floor
this
in
is actually
various
one
parts of the
stages from
setup.
Demo, so I'm very well acquainted with this one. Brings back good memories every time.
I revoke my
The
friendship with
satellite
Mini
variant
Matt.
of the stage requires you to roll up 567 flowers as fast as possible. I think this is one of the better examples
This is a good
for
one.
time attack
Yeah,
stage,
this is a good time attack
since the
stage.
change in objective does affect how you play this stage due to the shift in priority of speed instead of just thoroughly rolling up every flower, which is far more meticulous.
Clean up.
This request comes from the
Yeah,
fussy
fuck
mom
yeah, the
who
entire
wants you to
video,
clean up her
always.
son's room. The goal
The entire
is to
video is
roll up
always on
all
the
100
listen for the
objects
salts.
as fast as possible. This is actually one of the weaker
The only thing
stages
that's
in the game.
louder
However,
at
it
a
is
tournament
designed in
than
such a way that you can't just
Dreamland
aimlessly roll up all the objects. You
at
need to
Smash
plan your route
tournaments
to roll up
is
the
someone
smaller
yelling
objects
fuck
first, so you're
and
big
or
enough
a
to get
controller
the
being
rest.
thrown.
It's not bad, but it's not something you can't find elsewhere. The map is unique though.
I
This
won't go
time
into
takes place in a
heavy
bedroom. This is also
details,
one of
but
the
I
few
will say
stages without a
Mini-Matt is
satellite
not
variant, but
doing
I
well.
would like to take this
But
opportunity to explain Stardust.
He
When you
will
complete a
be
stage that you've
fine
cleared
if that's
previously, you'll
I
be
think that's the best
presented
I can
with a
honestly
decision.
give.
Destroy
He's
your old
not
plans
exactly
and create
doing
a new
well,
one,
but definitely give
or
him his love
destroy
when he
your
does go
current
live
Katamari
again.
to create
Because I'm sure
Stardust.
everyone will be excited to
Stardust
see him
is
again for
another
one, so
celestial
that
body
kind of goes
you
without
create.
saying
This
because
was actually
people
a thing in
legitimately
the
will want to
first
see
Katamari
Mini-Matt because he's
Damacy,
cool.
but served
But
no real practical
he'll
purpose
need
in
the
this
care
one, where
and
it now
support
counts
of the
as an
people to be
object
around
you
him,
can
just
roll up to
enjoying
relieve
the
all
things
of
that
the
he's
sun
sharing with you
state.
all. So
So
whenever
when
that
it
time
comes
comes,
to replaying
definitely give him the
stages,
love.
Even if you do worse than your previous attempt, it's still worth sacrificing the Katamari to create Stardust.
But yeah, I'll be the fuck
Ooh.
master of the
This
venue
request
if there's
comes from
Mahjong
the
in there
substitute
on
teacher
commentary.
Who has a classroom full of kids that love Katamari Damacy and wants the king to pay a visit. Your goal is to reach 1.5 meters in 5 minutes, taking place on a new map, the school. This is also the first stage that was featured in the demo, so this stage holds a very special place in my heart for
But yeah,
making
my mom
me
does
fall in love with
my
the series
sister a
to
cat,
begin
and the
with.
cat's name is Gracie.
Honestly,
She's an
though,
absolute
it's
sweetheart.
really
She's
just
13 years
another
old.
as large as possible
Oh,
stage with no real gimmick.
just a
The
little
setting
old
is what makes
granny
it
into your
memorable,
life like
rolling around
this.
on desks, picking up
Is
school
he adapting
supplies,
well and
backpacks,
just kind of
then eventually
hanging out with you all and
students.
everything like that? Seems
If
to
you do
be
really well, you can
adapted
roll
to the
up
house,
the walls dividing
all
the
that sort of good
classrooms,
stuff.
which at that point you can just
excuse
dash
me.
between them and just pick up everything really quickly. It's so satisfying. Definitely therapeutic for anyone that hated school.
It's going to
Is
only
that
be
Mob
okay,
Psycho?
yeah. But I
The
hope he's
satellite
okay at
variant
least,
of
yeah.
the stage requires you to roll
You did hear
up
Matt
all
on
of
Ty
the
stream, let's say?
students
Okay,
as
good,
fast
good.
as
I know he's
possible,
trying to make
which
more efforts to show up on other
completely
people's streams and stuff like that and
recontextualizes
still kind of
the
do
object
stuff.
layout is
So it's
totally
like, okay,
different
I
as
know
well.
he's actually
You
trying to
also
do
start
stuff.
off big enough
One
to
step
roll
at a
up
time
people,
type of thing.
So the challenge is just being as efficient as you can. I really appreciate that it takes place
So
during
I'm glad that he was
sunset,
on Ty
which
stream
just adds to
yesterday
the
as
mood of
well.
the school day ending.
I think just
One
any
of my
little bit of
favorite
just like,
satellite
yeah,
variants.
get him to
It
do
honestly
something for a
feels like
bit
it
to
could've
kind of
been the
distract
main
from
stage.
things that are going
One
on
thing I'd
will
like to
be
point
super
out is
positive
that
for him as
second
well.
cousin Huey only appears on the satellite version of this stage.
Did that
So
sound
some
play? I don't think
cousins
that
are
sound play,
exclusive
did it?
to certain stage variants. Oh, and
No,
fun
no,
fact,
I
this is
think
the
it's
same school featured
a
in the
fair
town.
thing to
Like, look,
ask,
you can see
honestly.
the recess area
Like I
from
said, I
the window.
can't share any details per se,
This
but
request
I know
comes
people
from
are
a mini
worried.
Sumo who wants
but,
the king to help him become stronger.
You know, it's
The
also
goal
one of the
of
things
this
like,
level
well,
is to
I'm
defeat
worried,
your
but
opponent,
I also can't
Komosubi, in
just
sumo
ask the
wrestling.
guy who I'm
How do
worried
you
about.
do
I
this?
didn't hear it.
Why?
Shit.
By eating, of course.
Why does this
You have
happen?
5 minutes to
Yes,
roll up
the
as much
sumo
food
level
as
is so
possible
good.
until
I
you're large
love the
enough to knock
sumo level.
Komosubi out of the ring.
And then you
Any
roll him out of
food
the
you
ring. It's
collect
so
will make the
freaking
mini
good.
sumo put on weight,
It's
with
so
larger foods
good.
contributing the most weight.
All right, let me
Inedible
try
objects do not
restarting.
contribute at all, so you need to focus on sustenance. And before you ask, people do not count as food. This level is one of my favorites, despite how easily this could be construed as fetish material, but it's handled so comically I really doubt that was the intent.
right.
The stage
Let's
does
try this
recycle
again
the town map, but because it's
Also, what's up, Jimbo? How
recontextualized
you
with the
doing?
gimmick, it still feels fresh. Getting large in this stage is very satisfying too.
The raceway
Once you're
level
big
is
enough,
so so
you'll
good
be
as
able to pick
well.
up freezers,
You were
vending
spitting
machines,
actual
and
factuals,
even
Claire.
food stalls,
Holy
which
shit.
significantly contribute to your size.
No, we didn't watch
It's
King
just
of Chinatown
ridiculous
yet.
how
No,
much you
no.
can tower over
We
your
probably
opponent.
won't
Now,
just
this stage
because
is
of
unique in that it
closing
features
out
3 difficulty
of the
levels,
stream.
with
I
the
probably
first
will
2
not have
generating
any
satellites and the
videos on
hardest
Saturday.
generating their own planet. For
But,
medium, your opponent is Ozeki.
we'll see.
And for hard,
All right,
your
let's try
opponent
this
is Yokozuna. Obviously, since your opponent is getting larger,
Video games?
difficulty
Pretty
lies in
cool.
getting bigger
All
than
right,
last.
good.
Each difficulty also mixes up what foods can appear so they feel distinct.
Sweet.
Probably
There
the
we go.
most entertaining part of this stage is the fact that you just
But she's
throw
doing good
your
adapting.
opponent
She may
into
goes under my
space to
sister's
become
bed,
a
but she's
planet.
exploring. Yeah,
It
just
becomes
kind of like,
even more
ow,
questionable
fucker.
when you turn them
Just
into
kind of like
stardust.
one bit at a time, right?
Race.
Yes.
This request comes from the F1 racer, who tried to roll up cars during the first game but couldn't and wants our help. Your goal is to reach 5 meters in 6 minutes. The catch is that you're
That's
on a
that's
racetrack,
great though.
so
Yeah, one bit at a
naturally
time. The
the
cat will make their own
Katamari
way
is
out.
as
They'll
well.
find their own
You'll
comfort.
always
It'll be
moving
slow
forward, so
going,
you
but
really need to pay attention to what's
the cat
in front
will
of
be
you,
good,
while
and
also
I'm
thinking
so
about
happy
what
for you
should
all.
try
That's
to
so
roll
great.
up on the next lap. It's a really fun gimmick. I enjoy faster-paced games overall.
But
so
also, how you
this
doing,
suits
Claire?
me
By the way, as
perfectly.
well.
Once
Hopefully, you're
big
having a good
enough,
one.
It's fun to turn
in
around, so all the
exchange
vehicles
for-
just drive right into you instead. One neat detail about this level is all of the cousins have their own unique vehicle. Some are really funny too.
I kind of forgot about that
Let's
actually.
not talk about Fumins. The satellite variant of the stage is as fast as possible. You start off at 2 meters with the goal of reaching 5 meters.
There we go.
This version actually has you start in reverse.
Yeah,
so
car level is
it's
so
a little
good.
different in that regard. You also start larger, which is just par for the course at this point, so really it's just another solid satellite variant. Here's a fun bit of trivia. In the game Pac-Man World Rally,
Oh my
there's
God.
a racetrack based on this stage,
Yes.
titled the King's Course, with a K for some reason. The Katamari even exists as an obstacle you need to avoid.
Oh, that's
However,
amazing.
it doesn't
Oh my
blow you
God,
up, it
Namco.
just crushes you. The song that plays here is Katamari on the Rocks, but not the version you're familiar with. No, this appears to be the scratch vocal version.
Huh. Also, this game looks entertaining as well.
At least I'm assuming. Maybe they didn't have the budget to
Fumin, no,
properly license
hang
the
in there,
final version.
Fumin.
Oh wait, Prince is also a playable racer too. He looks a little.
Yeah, I didn't make any comments on Fumin, but
I guess
damn,
he's supposed to be the vehicle
I could have
itself,
I could have
and he
timed
just
that a little
floats
bit
above 4
better.
Katamari that act as his wheel.
Not so close.
I don't know. It just seems like a missed opportunity to let him ride his ducky.
Campfire.
Ouch. Ooch.
This
ouch.
request comes from the camper boy.
I don't know if
who
I need
needs help
any
lighting his
antidote herbs,
campfire.
so I'm just gonna keep
This
that
stage
there.
takes place on the campgrounds.
Continue
Your
extra
goal is
capacity
to
after
light
Monster
the wood
Hunter.
pile in the
You like
center
gold
of
stream?
the
Yeah,
map
it'll probably
within
move to
6
old
minutes.
Sunday bonus
Now,
stream
there
stuff.
isn't a specific
That's the reason why I've kind of like
Just
shrugged off the
wood
bonus
pile
stream stuff
similar
on
to
Sundays, because it's like
Sunday.
I'm literally doing that, but all the time. Because you had a great idea with that, just like a really good idea of like rating the stream, like Sin would. Yo, how's it going, Sin? What's going on? Hopefully the rest of your stream turned out real good and you had a great time hanging out with the homies and your lol like out there. What's up, Fox Trooper? What's up, Sin? Hopefully things are going well. Happy Thursday. For those of you who don't know me, name's Ryudo, variety streamer on twitch.tv.com. I am in the midst of a challenge of completing Monster Hunter for the PlayStation 2 without any help whatsoever, just playing the game from scratch for $50. But we're almost actually at the end. I'm preparing for the final fight. I've gathered enough, or I've beaten all the monsters. The last monster's unlocked. I just need to prepare all my equipment for the final fight. That's all.
So if you play a slip, this is even made of
The
paper.
game is pretty fun. The game looks pretty interesting. I have no idea basically what is going on in terms of like your strategies, but it does. I like the layout of the game.
This also
I
means that the
already
first
forgot the name of it.
difficulty levels
Eternal
create
Returns,
satellites
something
and
like that.
harvest a planet.
It's alright. It's gone.
Money.
It's already gone.
This request comes from the fundraiser, who needs help raising
Almost
money
ready
to
for
save
hacker
the red
mode.
pandas from losing their color. Yes, those red pandas.
But
from
yeah,
the opening
Sunday
movie.
bonus streams will
This
return
stage
because
takes place in the
you
town
know
again,
I'll actually
and
have
you're
the
given
capacity
4
to
minutes to
have
create
more
the most
videos
expensive
to
Katamari
watch
possible
instead
by
of
rolling
blowing
up
through my
objects with
videos.
monetary value.
I actually had a
That being
moment
said,
like 2
even
weeks
garbage
ago,
is
and I'm like,
worth
oh
something,
shit,
so
I have like
just
no
rolling
videos
like
to
normal
watch.
will get you
I
by.
actually had
And
to dig for
remember,
some
there's
videos
no
to find
price
so I
on
could
life.
show them on stream.
Now it's not as brain dead as it sounds, as there are
Thankfully, I
objects
found a
hidden around the
few,
map that hold
and I felt the
significantly more value
the
than
push a
others,
little bit of like,
like
ooh, I
rings
was
or
really
even
reaching for
crown.
like. These
So
are
really,
remotely
this
interesting,
level is
but
as
also at the
challenging
same
as you
time,
make
I'm
it
just
to
like,
be.
I have no
Otherwise,
idea
it's
what I'm
just
getting
a
myself
cozy
into
stage.
because they're not
Like,
even
you would have
familiar.
to intentionally not roll up anything to fail because in
YouTubers
the
to
end,
me
the fundraiser only needed
was like a
$8.50
battle royal instead.
to
Okay,
buy a
okay.
pack of
So there
strawberries,
is actually
which
other
is apparently
people
the
there
only
in
thing
terms of like
that
a
keeps
battle
the
royal
red
setting.
pandas, well,
I wasn't actually
red.
sure if that was like
My favorite thing about
set up
this
in a
level
specific
is
way or
probably
anything
the
like that.
flea
I can't
market
get this
outside
guy
of
from
the
here.
school.
What am I
I've
thinking?
always enjoyed looking around yard sales and seeing what kind of junk people have.
Did the shout
so
go through?
this
Yeah, the
captures
shout
that
went through. You
atmosphere
did it,
nicely.
Amber. You're the
There's
best.
also this dude with
I mean,
really long arms
I mean,
in a tree for
I didn't need to tell you that.
whatever
You already
reason.
knew you were the best, obviously, but
This request comes from Hansel
know,
and Gretel, who heard
this
that the
one-
king
this
could grant
time, it
wishes
worked
and
out fine.
naturally just want more sweets.
There we go.
I mean, what did you expect? It's Hansel and Gretel.
Amber
from the
Amber
Brothers
is
Grimm.
a good
This is one of
doggo.
the few requests where the
Look at
fans
that good
don't even
doggo.
need to convince the king to help. He's just on board from the start. This stage is sweet. It takes place in this meadow where there's a gingerbread house made up entirely of candy.
Oh, I didn't want me to open
I mean,
there.
I
but
guess that's how it would
whatever.
be
I guess we're looking
normally,
at.
But since this is Katamari, that means you can roll it in piecemeal, and it's super satisfying to do. Look,
All
there's
right,
even a
good,
witch, just
excellent.
like the
10 out of
fairy tale.
10.
Now,
Great.
this is a very compact area, so the 3 minutes you're given
It's
is
too long. I'm
plenty
jealous
for
that
you
you're
to
near out of
100% the
videos.
stage.
Well, the thing
However,
is,
just
I'm not
don't
out of
forget to
videos
roll
in terms
Hansel
of
and
watch
Gretel.
later,
Otherwise, you'll
but
fail
some
the
watch
objective.
later is
The
videos I
satellite
watch with
variant
my
instead
partner.
has you roll
Videos
all
I
these
watch
wafers that are
strictly for
covering
me
up a large
because.
picture.
And some
There's
videos that are
actually
just
quite a
not
few
long
different
enough
kinds of
for these
pictures
sort of
you can
things
get.
because, you
It's
know,
all random, but it
I'm
does
kind of
affect the
trying to
dialogue
make
the
it
king
like, you
has
know,
on the
40,
results
30 to
screen.
40 plus minute
Yes, Your
videos
Highness,
so I don't have to
that
like
dog
switch
did
it
have
on
a
and off
fabulous
all that
smile.
often.
Oh, he's a business owner too. Amazing.
So it's just like it makes it a lot
Origami.
easier for me to just
This
like have
request
long
comes from the
videos.
Crane
It helps with my
boy,
it
who is
gets rid of
trying
the
to help
long
her sick
videos on my
friend
list
by
though.
making
So
the
all I have is
fountain
short
with
videos
cranes.
left.
Unfortunately, they blew all around the school.
But
and
even
needs are
then, I
picking
actually
them back
do
up.
run out of
Yep,
videos pretty
it's a
fast because,
Sonic
you know, I
reference.
watch a lot of videos
Also,
while I'm
the fan calls the
cooking.
king
It's kind of
sexy
our
to
main
win him
way
over,
to
which
like
is,
defog
this
throughout
is
the
yet
week
another
and
stage that puts
when we're done
Katamari
with work.
Damashi's
Because then we could like have
constellations
dinner,
to
watch
shame.
something
So while the
interesting,
map
and
is
learn something
recycled,
new and
it's
stuff like that. But
repurposed in a far more interesting manner.
I'm pretty
I
much
mean,
caught up with
1,000
all my
cranes is a
YouTubers
lot,
at this
so
time, basically.
This stage is densely packed and requires thorough exploration. That being said, you
even
don't
really
have
need
to
that,
get
honestly.
1,000
I'm
cranes
not
to
even taking
succeed.
it,
Just a
honestly.
reasonable amount will do. So give it your best shot with the 5 minutes you've got. And nope, no satellite variant on this stage, but I would like to clarify that unlike Katamari Damacy, if you get stuck, you are no longer forced to drop objects until you're small enough to escape. And no, I'm not trapped here. Instead, the solution for this problem is that you can just clip through whatever is entrapping you. It also means if you clip out of bounds, you'll get to experience the Royal Warp. While
Yeah, the
king
Royal
profusely
Warp.
apologizes for such an egregious error. Now, the Royal Warp isn't new, it originates from Katamari Damacy, but I've always found this a very clever way to mask a problem. Now, that's not to say
I'm
clipping
missing
out of
more where I
bounds
missed
and
something
getting
there.
stuck are frequent occurrences.
I can
Quite
roll
the
it back,
opposite,
though.
in fact. I had to deliberately go out of my way just to make this happen. But the point is that the Katamari is no longer as frail as it was in the first game, so I'm glad they
I
were
don't know
able to
why I
button
can't
this up.
see it. There we go.
Fireflies.
I guess stuff left in the tank if you need more.
From the nerd boy who forgot to pay his power bill and wants to be able to study in the dark. This stage takes place at the campgrounds,
At night.
which even the king notes is a new addition to the series. The goal is to roll up as many fireflies as you can in 5 minutes, with the intent of making the brightest Katamari
You're
possible.
fucking hilarious.
Dashing
Oh my
on the
God.
stage is paramount because some of the fireflies will fly away if you
Oh
take
my
too long.
God.
There's
Sorry,
also
I'm
this
laughing
cave
way
section
too
in
much.
the water that's good to dash
That's
back
so
and forth
good.
between as well.
It's
I almost
so
forgot
good.
this is the same map as
I'm
the
stupid
campfire
now.
stage, just because of how
Look,
much
it's
the
7
atmosphere
p.m.
changed.
I'm
You were
stupid
also
now.
unable
I've
to
been
enter the
stupid all
water,
day,
so
and I will
that
continue to be
probably
stupid for the
helps
rest
too.
of the
Once you
remaining
roll up
hours
your
of the day.
fireflies, simply
You have
roll
a
up
good
the fan
excuse.
and
I
brighten
don't
up
have an
his day.
excuse. It's just
Or
a
night,
way
I
of life
guess.
for me.
Snowman.
This request comes from the Snow Child, who claims Katamari Damacy is just a ripoff
Yeah,
of
no
making a
worries. I still have,
snowman and
I would say,
wants us to go
enough
back
stuff
to our
that'll
roots.
probably close
This
out
stage takes
the
place on a unique
remainder
winter-themed map,
of
with our goal being
Monster
to
Hunter.
complete the snowman, who just
And
needs a head.
then you can
Any
just add to
size
the
head
coolest.
will
I mean, you
do,
can
so
add to the
don't let
coolest
your
either
Animal
way.
Crossing
Like,
trauma
period.
stop
Just
you.
add it to the
Just roll
coolest.
around and take as
Every
much
now
time
and then
as
I'm
you
able to
need,
drop back into it
because
like,
there's no
okay, I'm
time
actually
limit
caught up on my
this
videos
stage.
and I want
And
something to
instead of
watch. Let me
displaying
just
your
pull something
current
out the
size
coolest every now and
numerically, You're
then.
given a visual representation of your size
So,
relative
realistically,
to the body.
like,
This stage
that's what the
also
coolest is
features
for.
a unique mechanic, as just rolling will increase your size. After all, you are rolling a snowball. It's actually possible to get stupidly large because of this. Well beyond what you might expect. This is also the only
noted.
stage where you can roll
Yeah, sounds
independently
work.
in co-op.
I'm happy they
yeah,
work now.
I suppose now is a good time to
They
get into
did a
that.
good job.
Any
They're out
stage
here
can be
doing their
played
best,
cooperatively
just
when
like everyone
both
else
players approach
in this
the
workaday
fan at the
world.
same time.
I'm glad you
Now,
are
in
out here
co-op,
doing
you
your best.
actually
And if
share
you're
a
not doing your
single
best, then
Katamari,
fuck it.
So you must roll in tandem to succeed. So if you want to go forward,
That's it. I
you
don't know. I'm not
both
gonna
need
tell you
press
you have to try
forward on
harder
your
or anything
control
like that.
sticks.
Fuck it.
If you want to turn around, you both
Do whatever
need
you
to
want.
push
You're
the
an
sticks
adult.
in at the
You can do
same
what you
time.
want.
And naturally, if you
If you're
fall
not an
out of
adult,
sync,
then
the
shit.
Katamari will struggle and move.
Weird things
You
like
also
be
move much
responsible
faster
and
when you are
actually
both in sync
sleeping.
compared to
I've heard of
just
those
rolling
before.
alone, which also means on
It's
the
something that that
track stage
Teasen keeps
can get so
talking
fast to the
about,
point
but
that
never
it's
actually
difficult to control.
does about.
Now, I
you
will
know?
admit,
And you know
it
what?
is
Whatever,
clunky,
fuck it.
But the
Teasen's
idea
adult.
is that you need to frantically point out where you want to go or what you want to roll up. It gets exhausting, but I don't know, it just has a unique appeal to me. But I know it's not for everyone. For whatever
Okay,
reason,
so what's
though, the
my
Japanese and
box
even
look like right now?
European version has an on-screen indicator for what each player is doing, while the
Oh.
Western release removes this.
Interesting.
Which is very strange. Anyways, the snowman stage is the only exception.
They say
because you
sleep
both
time,
have
I'm
your
gonna
own
stay here
snowball
now.
roll.
I look
Whoever's
like a
larger becomes the
copycat.
bottom, and whoever's smaller becomes the head.
Now that sleep
And
is
it works
in
really
fashion,
well.
I can't
You
do
just
it
roll
anymore.
into each other when you're
I'm
ready
not.
to
I'm
create
not a
snowman.
mainstreamer.
Fun fact: this map was actually repurposed from the original Katamari Damacy, where it went unused. There's a website called
I should at least
NoClip,
try.
where
If
you
I was a
can actually
biggish
explore
day.
this
Well,
map
yeah.
freely,
In
along
that
with
case, you
maps from
probably
other video
should
games.
get some
Check it out if
snooze.
you're interested.
But that said,
Considering I
Thank you
just
for hanging
covered
out.
co-op,
Really appreciate it.
I
It's
may
always
as
great
well
to see
be
you, Kyle.
thorough and cover the versus mode
I'm
as well.
sure I'll see you
This request
very
comes
shortly
from the
again, since
Battle
I'm
Uncles,
hanging out
who
on
simply
your
want you to
war
duke it out with a
streams.
pal.
So
This request
I
doesn't
gotta
let you
see
make
more
any
war.
planets or satellites,
My
so
thirst for
it's
war will
purely
never
for
be
fun.
satiated.
It's basically just a more fleshed out versus mode that Katamari Damacy offered, now featuring 3 different maps.
Let's
the
see.
bedroom, the town, and the world. Your goal is to either roll up the most of a
Got plenty of
specific
spiderwebs, we're
object
good on that.
or maintain control of a single object, kinda like capture